are back. At least I am back. I don't even know when's the last time I streamed, but I know that it's been a minute, so I am sorry about that. I have been, I don't know what I've been, to be honest, because I don't know what I have. But if whatever I have, I'm trying to figure it out. So, that's that. That's the update. I wish I could be more, as usual, I'm always going to say the same thing until eventually maybe it happens. I'm trying to manifest the idea of having a regular schedule and being more consistent. Let's try to manifest that. Anyway, anywho, we are doing a get ready with me today. Am I going somewhere? Absolutely not. At least I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, shit, maybe I'm gonna go catch some Pokemon later. I recently started Pokemon Go again. I'm trying to do more exercising and going outside to touch some grass, and also better for my mental health since I have no sunlight in my apartment. And so yeah, it's Pride. Happy Pride. Woo! And is there anything else that I wanted to say before we start this get ready with me? I don't know. I don't think so. I hope that I'm gonna have a good makeup day, and I hope that I'm going to have, well, a good reaction. I mean, considering the fact that we're about to watch True Crime, I don't know about that one, Chief, but I guess we're gonna see. So, without further ado, let's get ready with me. Started.
Bada bing, bada boo.
There are so many things that you wouldn't even think have cameras, but they do. And they're potentially recording you. And it sounds nefarious. It's not all nefarious. It's just unexpected is all. Like ovens, a lot of smart ovens, they have cameras inside the oven to utilize AI to detect what type of food you're putting in there so that they can cook it to completion without you having to think.
Oh my God.
Which I guess inside the oven is much less invasive than, say, like a robot vacuum. Those things have cameras, and as they roam around cleaning your hardwood floors, the camera is scanning to make sure that there's no obstacles in the way, like you getting out of the shower butt naked. Even those little automatic pet feeders for your cats, they typically come with cameras. And I do think that that's a feature that a lot of people want. They want to see their cats eating. They want to make sure that their cats are getting fed if they're at work. Unless you're this guy who posts on Reddit. Okay, so this is kind of a complicated one, but here goes. My girlfriend got a new job. So she got one of those auto feeders for her cat because she's going to be away a lot more now. And it's like a doctor feeder. So it has a camera in it and it can connect to Wi-Fi. And
Doctor feeder, you say?
I think it's one of those fancy cat feeders. And he says it can connect to Wi-Fi. She can actually look at the camera while she's at work and even talk through it and send the cat treats, and it comes through the cat feeder. I said initially, I don't like the idea of you having a camera in the living room. But she was like, it's my place, so you shut the fuck up. So I did. I shut the fuck up. Anyhow, flash forward a couple of weeks on a Friday. I get out early, and I was supposed to go to her place that night, but I just went out like 2 in the afternoon to chill until she got back home from work. I lay down on the couch. I completely forget about the camera, and I eventually start self-pleasuring because that's something that I just do. And apparently she's at work talking to her colleague about this cat and decides that she wants to show her colleague how she feeds it a treat and see if the cat comes over. So she turns the camera on with her colleague over her shoulder, and here I am on the couch just beating it. She's obviously very pissed off, like, how often do you do this? Which is not often. And she would say things like, you violated my space and all of this. And we've been fighting on and off for a few weeks now. And then to top it off, her colleague found my Instagram and has been liking some of my photos, like even ones that my girlfriend's not even in. And it's just kind of got me thinking, like, am I the asshole?
What the fuck?
I mean, that feels honestly more like a user problem than a cat feeder with a built-in camera problem. The cat feeders will just capture the cats sprinting to the feeder typically, and you'll hear the food come out, the kittens being startled by the new... There's a lot of viral cat feeder videos. The cat food will tumble out, and then the kittens will get so scared they jump like 3 feet in the air like a circus animal. Is
it because the video is too loud or my mic is too low? Also, while we're on the cat feeder subject, I have an automatic cat feeder. I didn't get the one with the camera because, first of all, it's way more expensive. And second of all, why? Personally speaking, I don't know, it's because I don't like my cat enough, but I just don't feel the need to put a fucking camera. Also, I'm always home anyway. Like, that's kind of weird. But there's too many camera on too many things nowadays. Literally, there's too many camera on too many things. It's very weird. I don't like it. Like, there's this sense of security that comes with it, but we're also the sense of security comes with a lack of freedom and intimacy and individuality that a lot of people are not concerned enough about. We have too many camera on too many things. It's not Jesus Christ. I miss back when we didn't have camera on so many things. But like, it's getting out of hand. It's getting very fucking weird. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Usually just like more on the wholesome spectrum. People just love the cat videos, which is exactly why Tony and Ivy, this is a couple with 2 cats. They get a cat feeder. So Tony and Ivy and their 2 cats, and they get that cat feeder and they put it in their house. And on this particular day, this cat feeder is picking up something, just a lot of things, alarming things. But there's no built-in system to call the authorities because something is alarming, or even call the people who own the pet feeder. All this cat feeder does is just record.
So this cat feeder records by itself?
Yeah.
Oh, like a security camera?
Almost. They keep a data log.
Huh.
A little past midnight at 12:21, the wife, Ivy, she's in her 20s. She walks into the kitchen to close up shop for the night, if you will. I mean, she's cleaning up, she's turning off all the lights. And by 1:04 a.m., it just seems like the whole house is going to bed. The lights are off. There's not really action. The cat camera is not picking up anything. But it's just downstairs. It sees the living room. It sees the kitchen, but it's not seeing the entirety of the house. And then 4:43 a.m., this is really early in the morning, Tony, the husband, suddenly appears in the cat feeder camera, and his shirt looks like, almost like he's been painting. There's just deep red colors everywhere, some sort of pigment.
Painting?
He goes out of the frame, and when he comes back, he's holding one of those wood saws that you turn on and the blade just starts rotating to cut the wood. But it's not rotating, it's turned off right now. And he's looking at it, and he brings it up to his neck, and his finger is on the button to turn it on, and he's about to press down, and he's very tense. It's almost like he's just waiting for the courage to press it, and then he doesn't. And then he walks off. Then the next time he's caught on the pet feeder, his entire arm is swollen. There's like this thick red liquid on him, and it's very clear that it's blood. Like, there's just blood everywhere. But Tony himself is not injured. Not even a little bit. Like, that circular saw, he didn't do anything. There's no injuries on him. There's not even a cut or a bruise, really, other than his swollen arm. So where's all this blood coming from? And what has he been doing all night? And why is it that we haven't seen Ivy since midnight? And what is he going to do when he realizes that this cat feeder is recording his every move?
Mm-hmm. Where does the recording even go? Is there like a cloud cat feeder somewhere? Sort of. This is so like. This feels like a security breach.
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the National Network to End Domestic Violence. NNEDV is a nonprofit dedicated to ending workplace, relationship, and stalking violence. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's team of dedicated researchers. We'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at rottenmangopodcast.com. Today's case involves topics like DV, so please watch with discretion. We also worked with our professional Chinese translators since the news it takes place in the US, but there was a lot more discussion in Chinese media about this case, but a lot of quote statements may be translated and shortened or condensed for brevity.
I usually watch like the score when it's posted online. But if you put like a soccer game in front of me, I'm probably gonna watch it. But other than that, I'm not really watching it. But I'm rooting for France.
So with that being said, let's get into it. Chinese is arguably one of the hardest languages to learn. And I'm not just saying that as somebody who has been trying to half-heartedly learn this language for the past 12 years of my life being with my Chinese husband. I just know how to say the very important stuff like yes, no, thank you, and that's way too expensive. But there are words in the Chinese language that mean one thing, but also sound like another thing, and there's a lot of these. So for example, cup sounds like tragedy.
Yeah,
Can you say cup?
Sure. I guess cups is like 悲剧.
How do you say tragedy?
Tragedy, 悲剧.
So it sounds so much alike that there are now sayings in Chinese where they say life is like a cup. If it's washed, it breaks. Life is like a tragedy. If it's washed, it breaks. It's like a play on words. They say porridge sounds like. So on social media, a lot of younger people will say things like I porridge you instead of I like you. Can you say porridge?
Oh, 我稀饭 like okay, 喜欢 稀饭 and 喜欢. All right, okay.
The fruit pear sounds a lot like pressure, they say. So people will say like you feel a mountain of pear. So the fruit, the pear.
Pear. 压力山大. Okay.
So instead of saying like I feel a mountain of pressure, they say I feel a mountain of pears. And one of the reasons that you can't even gift somebody a clock or a watch as a gift. So typically in Chinese culture, I think also in Korean culture, although I'm not sure if it stems from this reasoning, but if you give somebody a clock, the words give a clock also sound like attend a funeral.
Yes, 送终.
So when you give a clock, that's really bad. So a lot of the times, if you gift somebody a clock or a watch, they will give you $1 in return. So it seems more like a purchase, a trade, versus, giving somebody a clock. Because you're almost wishing them death. And to make it even trickier, there are even number sounds. So 520 sounds like I love you. People will text 520 instead of texting I love you, and everybody knows exactly what it means. There's the long one. What's the long one? It's like
it's like 5201314, like I love you my whole entire life, something like that.
So people will just send a sequence of numbers and just think that you get the most deepest, profound confession of love.
And May 20 is the Chinese Valentine's Day now.
Because it's 520. So I love you. Because numbers just mean a lot of things. Like a lot of Chinese buyers will make sure the house number doesn't sound or mean anything else that sounds negative. Lots of people don't like the number 4 because it sounds like death. But when you're in the Bay Area in San Francisco and you're buying a house where all the tech people are buying a house, it's very difficult to be picky. There's not a lot of options. And the options that are there are already in the midst of bidding wars. You have to act fast. For a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that's less than 2,000 square feet, by the way, about 1,800 square feet, which is, okay, that's not a bad size. It's just the fact that it's over $2 million for less than 2,000 square feet. $2 million, and it's a 20-minute drive from Google's campus in SF. It's going to get snatched up. So regardless if the house number is 714, because 714, it sounds in Chinese like wife will die. Regardless of that fact, you're going to want to get the house. January 15th, 2024, police are inside a house, 714, trying not to flinch at the metallic scent. The officers testified later that you walk into the house and it smells like blood. There's no other way to describe it. Everything smells like blood. You can't smell anything else because everybody's house has a very unique scent. Not that that is important to the officers, but it can tell them a lot. If you smell lots of feces and urine, you could probably come to the conclusion that there is someone that is not well kept here and maybe not even a mentally good state. If you smell other things like the scent of a dead body, people pick up on the smells. They can't even smell anything but that strong, eye-watering metallic scent. They're performing a wellness check when they find a suspect in a nearly catatonic state. That's the only way they can describe it. Just they're on their knees staring. The officers, they broke down the door and there's just a suspect on their knees staring at the wall. It doesn't matter that the officers are slamming down the doors to get in. They're just all screaming like, get your hands in the air. None of it matters. The suspect, it seems like they saw nothing, heard nothing, don't care about anything. They're just catatonic. They're just staring. And right next to them is a dead body. The police, they walk the suspect out with their hands firmly behind the back. They're walking past a little cabinet, and this cabinet has a bunch of trinkets on top. They're guiding the suspect out of the house like a dog. And the suspect leans down onto the cabinet. So he leans towards the cabinet and with their mouth bites the top of this picture frame and chucks it like a dog ripping apart a squeaky toy. Just chucks it onto the floor. The picture frame shatters everywhere. There's glass everywhere. And inside the picture frame is a photo of Ivy. The same Ivy that is now caked in blood, laying on the bedroom floor. Her face is completely unrecognizable, and she's dead.
The photo, is it just Ivy in there?
Just Ivy. The wife of the house is now dead. Tony and Ivy are a 27-year-old couple from China, and they put $500,000 down on this house. They mortgaged the rest, which is a pretty substantial down payment. They're able to afford it considering both of them are software engineers at Google. They buy the house 1 year into getting married. They get 2 cats. They even have a dedicated Instagram for their cats named Cooper and Kiwi. By all accounts, I would say that they seem like a very standard software engineer tech couple. They're obsessed with their cats. They commission artwork for their cats. They buy those cute little party hats for their cats during their birthdays. The cats lay on their laps as they're working from home. And when they're not taking pictures of their cats for the Instagram pages, they're going skiing, they're going snowboarding, they're going hiking with their other software engineer couples in the Bay Area. Tony's Instagram bio lists that he's into photography, volleyball, skiing, rock climbing, and a bunch of other sports. Ivy's adds yarn and gardening to hers, and they're both Chinese. So just to like paint a picture of both of them, Tony gives the very first impression you give of Tony is quiet academia focused nerd. There's really no other way to describe it. He's always wearing black framed rectangular glasses. His hair is very short and neat. It looks very efficient, like he doesn't want to spend too much time on his hair. He has a very slender build. He has a very unassuming face. The most noticeable thing about him is that he's 6 feet 2 inches tall. But other than that, he just kind of looks like a software engineer. He also has a very rigid look to his face. It's not necessarily cold, but he appears guarded. He doesn't seem like the type, and by all accounts, people say he is not the type to engage in small talk in the elevator. He's not gonna be smiling at you when you're a random coworker that gets into the Google elevator and he's in there. He's probably gonna give you like a curt nod, if anything. Whereas his wife, Ivy, she looks a lot softer. She's not super expressive, people say. She's also not very expressive with her face, but she looks a little bit more open. People say that she's the type that will smile at your jokes even though they're really not funny. But it's not like a over-the-top, like, oh my God, you're so funny. Like, where did you learn that joke? It's just like a very polite smile so that you don't feel awkward. She also has very bookish qualities to her. She feels very approachable and unapproachable all at once. The way everyone describes her is she's the one that will get you coffee one day in the office. And then she's going to remember your coffee order 3 years later. And you're not even her friend. You're just like the person that works in the room next to her. She feels very approachable in that sense because she's very kind and sweet, but also unapproachable because she will probably score in like the top 1% of an Ivy League school at all times and somehow be the smartest person in the room at the same time. And you feel like you can't talk to them because maybe you feel insecure that you're not that smart. But she doesn't make you feel that way. The two of them, they get married in 2022. In 2023, they buy this $2 million house in the Bay Area, and both of them are now working at Google as software engineers. But just because everything appears to be near perfect from the outside does not make it true. Do you know people who are obsessed with their first loves? It's like a thing, okay? They don't marry their first love in the way that, the way that they think about their first love, you would think that they're possessed to the point where they almost idolize their first love in a way that everybody around them is very confused. They talk about their first love as if this is a member of Blackpink, an idol that is untouchable, somebody that would never grace planet Earth ever again. And everyone around them is just thinking, they're great, but like, are we talking about the same person right now? Because this is so crazy. I don't know what you're saying. It's like this longing that they have this unreachable love. And you're like, no, and they're pretty reachable. Like, I saw him working at the vape shop down the street. Like, he hasn't gone anywhere. I don't know why we're trying to make him out to be this Prince Charming that ran away. He's down there selling vapes. You can go get him tomorrow if you want. Probably tonight. I don't think he has plans. By the way that they talk about their first love, you would think that they were the one that got away and became an Oscar-winning actor and actress that they'll never be able to connect to again. It's never that serious. But some people just idolize their first love.
Chinese has a saying called, so guys will describe, sometimes not even like first love, but even like a girl that they like loved.
The white flower?
White, they call it like almost white moonlight.
Yes, white moonlight.
White moonlight.
That's what I'm just about to say.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So they call it white moonlight. And then there's the other aspect where they call it like the red rose or something, like the red moonlight. So some people idolize their first love as this white moonlight, so pure, so innocent.
Just
Yeah.
pureness.
And then a lot of people will start idolizing this red rose, which is a very passionate love. So this comes later in life, but this is a passionate love that they don't end up with, but they remember this relationship. And so there's almost this very annoyance that people have in China of when guys are always haunted by either the white moonlight or the red rose, and it's just like, get over yourself. It's not that big of a deal. There's even books written about this in China where a female author writes about how men tend to have two loves. The white rose and the red rose. They have two love interests and they're gonna pick between one of them. So the white rose is the first love. But if he marries his first love, she's no longer going to be the white rose. She becomes a grain of sticky rice on his clothes, just dull and irritating. And then he's going to yearn after, because he married the white rose, he's going to yearn after the red rose. The red rose is the passionate mistress that makes him feel alive and sensual and burning with love. But here's the thing. If he had chosen the red rose and doesn't marry the white rose, if he married the red rose, she will become mosquito blood on the wall. Sordid marriage, he will consider her ugly and venomous even.
God damn.
And then he will daydream and idolize about what life would have been like had he married the white
moonlight.
rose. The eternal, pure moonlight before his bed type of woman. It is a very deep outlook on males' need to conquer women, stating that this is the type of system where no real woman can win because the moment she's possessed by the man, she gets downgraded and then the other woman is almost like a mythologized.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's about how men only fantasize about those who he cannot conquer, and how men tend to construct women as symbols, and then they blame the woman once they become symbols for them. But it's also just a very interesting concept, and I'm sure it's not taken seriously, but it's so widely known that people will even use the categories to determine what kind of ex they were. So like your last ex, are they your white rose or your red rose? To the point that the question can even be asked at dinner parties. Would you rather be a white rose to your ex or a red rose to your ex?
Like asking a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
There's even memes
I wouldn't
about
even
it
forget
with
about
some
me.
people hating the concept of the white rose because a lot of girls have been compared to a guy's first love. And it's really fucking annoying because typically first loves, they say, it's not even a real relationship. So like you're in this relationship when you're in middle school, high school, sometimes college, you never even have a real relationship with that person to see all the bad things that come from being in a relationship because there's a lot of hardship. So of course you idolize the relationship that has no disappointment in it because you weren't old enough to be disappointed by the relationship.
Yeah.
It's just, people are saying it's very annoying to be compared to the first love in relationships.
That's so interesting. These are very like Chinese specific
Yeah.
struggles of,
'Cause
couples in relationship. I know exactly what they're talking about though.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't really hear that a lot in the US.
Yeah. Because in China, before college, relationship is pretty much forbidden by school and by parents. You're not allowed to publicly be dating, right? Very different from here. So there, a lot of these relationship is like underground. It's forbidden. So it's like very subtle. You pass a no maybe. You look at someone. You barely touch hands when you're going out. Like it's this very subtle type of relationship. So people have this like very pureness frame of lens when you're looking back at it maybe.
It's very bizarre.
It's really weird. Yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
weird
yeah.
because I feel like in the US, when you think of relationships in high school, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
gotta run.
Exactly. Yeah.
it's so strange. But I just think that the comparison is very toxic. And Ivy
It is.
hates the fact that Tony
Oops.
will always compare her to his high school ex-girlfriend that he dated on and off in high school and in college. His first love. And her name is Zhang. Zhang, the ex-girlfriend.
Was that in US or was that in China?
In China. But they all come to the US. All three of them.
When did they come to US?
This was during their PhD years.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they finished college and all that. Wow.
I mean, they all went to the same college in China, and then they all immigrated to the United States. And then they all start working for Alphabet. So
Google?
well, some of them work for Google, some of them work for subsidiaries of Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
Messy. Wow.
Yeah, very messy. But that will come up. But Tony will compare Ivy to his very first love, Jiang, comparing their appearances, their education, which was practically the same, their income, hobbies, interests, even their personality traits, even going as far to imply that if Ivy was not his wife, and had he married Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, instead of Ivy, he probably would be living better now.
The fuck?
I don't think it's very easy to cheat on your partner these days. I feel like everything has a digital footprint. Text messages, emails, Instagram DMs, Snapchat. Yeah, you can make the messages go away, but they can still see when you were last active. I think you can see like top friends or whatever that's changing. You can delete as much as you want, but there's going to be ways that you're going to get caught. Maybe they're not going to see the exact messages, but they're going to see something that's weird. Even things that you think don't have a paper trail, or you forget that they do, like Venmo. A few years ago, even Uber, you were not able to delete a ride from your ride history on Uber. You can do that now. I think they got a lot of complaints. I don't know why you would need to delete it. Like, who's deleting it? But now they've fixed it so that you can actually delete specific rides from your ride history. So when you go to your account and go to ride history, you can delete specific rides. But one of the more common ways as of recently is in the files.
The what?
People will cheat in the files.
What file?
Google Documents. It sounds so strange, but it's rather common these days. People will use a Google Doc,
like a shared
doc, to have conversations in real time.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Because when you share a Google Doc, people can comment and it updates instantly.
Yeah.
So
So
people
they
will
use that
have-
as a text message.
Yes. And no one
Holy-
goes through their partner's Google Docs because you're like, what's in there? Nothing.
Oh
Work
my God,
stuff.
that's smart.
I guess that's
Scary.
very on brand with
For
their
Google.
job, right?
Yeah. So, I mean,
Whoa.
but one person on Reddit posts, my husband used Google Docs for 3 years to communicate with his affair partner. They had a shared Google Doc where they would talk and make plans. I mean, it was simple but effective. I read it all. The virtual sex, the I love yous, the secret meetings. I had my soon-to-be ex-husband's password, and I would occasionally snoop on his phone to ease my mind. But in 3 years, I never thought to check Google Docs. In a shared document, you can type back and forth like a chat, even leaving comments to things, and it gets updated in real time. Because typically people use it to collaborate on work or school projects, and it's unconventional, but that's the whole point. That way nobody will know who you're talking to. Your partner's going through your text messages, highly unlikely they're going through your Google Docs to make sure you're doing anything weird there. So
So what you're saying is that if I'm psychotic, there's something else that I have to look forward to. If I decide to check in my partner's phone, like, I don't ever want to feel like I have to check in my partner's phone. Like, the second I feel like I need to check your phone, the trust is already broken. We are one step closer to a breakup or a divorce. Like, I really should never feel like I need to confirm anything on my partner's phone. It's not how, because trust is so important. The moment trust is gone, the relationship is over. Ciao.
she's just letting everyone know, hey, just so you know, check the Google Docs.
Wow. Well, we know someone who use
Oh.
cash transfer app, right?
Yes. So there's like this cash transfer app where you can message someone, I guess, to like send money.
Yeah.
And they were using that chat, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not public, but still. And Google Docs is also, I think both of them are equally so insane, especially if it's titled like Google Docs. If it's titled something as boring as like budget sheet for Q3, who's going to look at it? If you want to look at something very private, someone's inner thoughts, something that they're hiding, you might even go through the Apple Notes app. You're not going to go into Google Docs. You're not going to go through somebody's Google Docs unless you're Ivy and you happen to stumble upon a Google Doc file between Tony and his first love from college,
Wow.
Jiang, the ex-girlfriend. It is a nearly 20,000 word document detailing how Tony and Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, miss each other, how right before Tony proposed to Ivy, he had first asked Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, if she would consider transferring to work at Google instead of working at Waymo, which is all part of the same umbrella company. But instead of working at Waymo, yes, that's like the driverless cars. She works at Waymo. Transfer to Google, move to the Bay Area because she's working at Waymo in Seattle. Move to the Bay Area and they could buy a house together. They talk about how Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, said, no, I don't want to do that. And that's why he does everything else with Ivy instead. So once the ex-girlfriend said no, he proposes to Ivy, he gets married to her, and they buy a house in the Bay Area together. But he would still be commenting and writing in the Google Doc saying things like, I miss the old days. Which is already bad enough because, why are they still talking to each other? Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, also writes that this is supposed to be like she started this Google Doc to send it as let's get rid of the past feelings and get some closure on our relationship. She says it's more like a personal diary for herself to just hold on to the things and then write it down and let go of the past. But she feels the need to send this Google Doc to Tony, and that's how they start this weird conversation, this 20,000 word conversation on Google Docs.
Wait, so this whole doc was sent by Jiang?
The ex-girlfriend.
When did she send this?
This is way after Tony's married, bought the house, has 2 cats, everything.
Oh.
This is like 2-3 months before Ivy is killed.
So Jiang reached out first?
Yeah.
Really?
She reached out first because she said she was just going through a really tough time in her life. She says out of everyone in her life, he's really the only one that she can confide in. She writes in the document that before all of this, before Tony married Ivy, before Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, got engaged to her boyfriend, Tony was the only one that was there for her. And they were just at different places in their lives. She thought it would be okay to move on. But then she found out that her boyfriend turned fiance that she's dating, he also works for Alphabet. He works for DeepMind, Google DeepMind. Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
They all work in the same building?
No. So they live in Seattle. Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, and her boyfriend live in Seattle. So their offices are in Seattle. Okay. And then Tony and Ivy, they work on the Google campus in the Bay Area, but it's massive.
Yeah.
And they don't really run into each other a lot at work. You'll see why later, but it's just interesting that they all work for the same parent company.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, September 2023, Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, finds out that her fiance has been soliciting sex workers, and the two of them end their engagement. She's distressed. She's in need of emotional support and comfort, and the only person that she can think of reaching out to is her ex-boyfriend, Tony. Apparently, it's like a thing in these tech-centered areas. So the Bay Area, Seattle, where a lot of the tech companies are centered, they have a lot of these massage parlors that are just fronts for sex work. And a lot of the clientele that go there are just engineers, software engineers, tech bros. Nice. They go, they get their massages done. For the police, it's very easy. It's kind of like what they do on Canal Street where they like bust the counterfeiters. It's like a routine. They'll go there every once in a while and just make a bunch of arrests at these massage parlors. And Jiang's now ex-fiance was arrested at one of these massage parlors for soliciting sex work. So she finds out, and I'm sure there's a humiliation aspect to it because all these tech people, they run in the same circles. She's in need of emotional support. She's in need of comfort. And the only person that she can think of reaching out to is her ex-boyfriend, Tony. She sends him this very lengthy Google document. And she says that this is just me trying to get closure on our relationship, as I'm just categorically thinking about every romantic relationship that I've had and what led me to this point in my life where I'm now ending my engagement. I am also looking back at our very long relationship and I'm having a lot of thoughts and feelings. I didn't even want to send it to you, but I'm going to send it to you. She writes in the document, if I had known I would have been betrayed by my fiance like this, I might as well have accepted your request to get back together a few years ago before you married Ivy. You know, the request to move to California, buy a house together. The only problem is, if Tony were to divorce Ivy and start over with Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, she says there would be way too much drama. And Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, is not ready for that drama. She also doesn't want that type of reputation to follow her around. And she's like, you and Ivy bought a house together, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of financial splitting of the assets. And like, no offense, I don't really want to date you if you're broke.
Damn, she said
Shit, she's honest.
Basically.
Why the hell are you sending this letter then?
Yeah. So she's like, you're going to have a bad reputation. You're also going to be broke. So I can't be with you, but I just wish I could turn back in time and then take your offer from years ago before you married Ivy. And, you know, that would have been much easier. I just do not have a single clue about the inner workings of such a woman and her mind. But they're both commenting back and forth after she sends this Google document. And it's almost like they're texting. And in the document, it's very clear that the two of them have even met up in person. And Ivy's reading this. Yes, they've met up after Ivy's married, has the house. They actually meet up 2 months before Ivy is dead.
Wait, how did Ivy find this?
There's two variations. Some people suspect that she decided to go looking because there were lots of things sending her sensors off that there was an affair happening. And then there's another version where some people speculate that maybe Tony showed her the document to say, see, she's the one that reached out to me. I wasn't the one that was trying to seek her out.
But we know for sure Ivy saw this.
Because she comments on this Google Doc later. They met about 2 months before Ivy is killed, and this is around Ivy and Tony's wedding anniversary. Tony decides that he's going to meet his ex-girlfriend. When Ivy sees this Google document, she makes a comment of her own with her own account, and she writes, "I hate you. I hate all of you." And she will be dead by the end of that week. Wang and her husband are very nervous. They're waiting outside the front door. They already rang it once. And Wang she's reaching for the doorbell again. She's hesitating. She's debating whether or not she should ring it a second time, or is that's way too clingy. When the door opens, standing there at the entryway is Ivy, which is Wang's really good friend. So Wang and her husband are standing there, and Ivy just opened the door. Ivy and Wang have been close girlfriends for years now. Their parents even know each other. They have the same trajectory of life. They both immigrated from China and they both work in the tech industry, and they kind of get along in that sense where they just click. Both of them came to the US, they have a bond, and naturally Wang's husband and Tony become friends, but they're not as close as Wang and Ivy. They're just friends because they're the husbands, really. So Wang is checking in on Ivy, and she just knows that Ivy is not doing well. When Ivy opens that door, her eyes are bloodshot. It looks like she's been crying all day. And Ivy lets the couple in. Wang and her husband awkwardly sit on the couch in the living room. Tony's also there. He's like barely engaging. He's, for the most part, very quiet, giving short answers to any and all questions that Wang and her husband ask, such as, "Everything okay? Okay." Neither Tony or Ivy mentioned that they were just fighting like 20 minutes before Wang and her husband came unannounced. But they don't really need to say anything because this is the most awkward living room gathering that they've ever had. Wang and her husband try to steer the conversation to work. How's work been? Because you were talking about work. And Tony will barely respond to any of the questions. Ivy starts responding for him. That, he's just anxious with all the ongoing layoffs in the industry. He's just worried about getting laid off, and if he does, he's going to have a hard time finding another job in the industry. And then the doorbell rings because Wang and her husband had ordered food, and she thought maybe if we just eat together, it's going to make it less awkward, like ease some of the tension. They thought it would help. Whatever is happening between Tony and Ivy, it's just very tense, and Wang wants to help. So they sit down, they open up all the to-go boxes, and Tony is just quiet the entire time. The only time he responds is they go, "Tony, do you want some rice?" "Yeah." That's it. No other response, nothing. He's not even engaging. During dinner, Ivy tries to answer all these questions that Wang and her husband are asking. "Oh, yeah, he's just stressed from work. He was saying that he was having some auditory hallucinations recently and muscle tension because he's been so stressed." Wang and her husband don't really know how to respond exactly because this is the first time that they're hearing about something like this, but they want to be supportive. But they say it was just weird because Ivy said that he's experiencing all these crazy things from the stress of work, but they don't see anything out of the ordinary. Nothing indicates that he's listening to the walls and hears voices where they're not coming from. He just seems quiet. He just seems like he's pissed off even, or just got into a fight with his partner. Nothing about it seems like he's having a full mental breakdown. So maybe that's just something he told Ivy. Nobody knows. The rest of that dinner, largely silent. Nobody's really talking. Wang and her husband, they're just offering surface level comfort at this point because what else can they do? And as they're about to leave, after the most awkward dinner that they've ever experienced, when they get outside, Wang's husband goes to the car and Wang is standing there. Ivy pulls her aside and she's telling her, "I think I'm gonna divorce Tony." "What? Why?" He's still talking to his ex-girlfriend, and we had a fight earlier today, and he said things like, "My life would have been so much better if it weren't for you."
When was this in the timeline?
This is a few hours before Ivy is dead.
Wow.
The night of.
That's the
And
same
Wang
day.
wants to stay, but Ivy's like, "Just go. I'll text you tomorrow. Just go. It's fine. You guys already stayed long enough. I mean, what are they going to do? Go through another awkward dinner?" So
Yeah.
Wang gets in the car with her husband. They drive off. and they just feel really off about this. I mean, the only reason that they even showed up today is because earlier that day, so they just had dinner with Ivy and Tony, but earlier for lunch, they were hosting this huge lunch gathering with like 9 of their closest friends. It's been on the calendar for a while, but Ivy texts Wang last minute telling her, hey, we're not going to be able to make it to lunch. She's like, what do you mean? Why? We've been planning this for so long. All of our friends are coming. You have to come. And she's like, no, it just Tony's really stressed about work, and so I just don't want to go. The whole lunch, Wang feels really weird about this. She's feeling very uncomfortable. And then a few hours right after lunch, Tony's parents call Wang because all their parents know each other back in China. All their parents live in China, but they all kind of know each other, and they know that all their kids are friends.
Parents from China is calling her?
Yes. So it's not like, oh, their parents were all family friends and then the kids were friends. It's like all these kids became friends and then they introduced their parents all to one another.
Okay.
And they all have each other's WeChat's numbers. So Tony's parents are WeChat calling Wang. And she's like, what's going on? This is so random. She picks up and Tony's parents are like, hey, listen, I would not have called you unless something serious is happening. But have you spoken to Tony or his wife, Ivy, recently? He hasn't been in touch for like the past month, and this is very unlike him. And when I tried to talk to Ivy, it seemed like they were going through a fight. It seemed like they were just not doing well. So I don't know what's going on. Wang is like, well, I was supposed to see them for lunch, but they didn't show up. She hangs up, and this seems to be the biggest factor of why she goes over for dinner. I think that if her friend just said, I'm not going, maybe she wouldn't have gone for dinner because it's very intrusive for her to just barge in and be like, why are you guys fighting? Tell me about your fight. Let's talk about work. It seems like a lot, right? But it's the fact that Tony's parents even called her. Yeah, so she's like, I got to do something. She gets her husband in the car and is like, we have to go visit Tony and Ivy. Like, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight unless we go visit Tony and Ivy. They even order the food almost as an excuse to stay longer and try to get more answers and try to help more. But it just is so uncomfortable. There's no talking, there's no reasoning, there's no comforting, there's nothing. The whole night, throughout the entire dinner, even after their demeanors are off, they both seem unusually quiet. There were moments where Ivy would be responding and then she would just zone out. Tony's even more quiet than normal. So Wang and her husband, they drive home that night and they just cannot shake this feeling that something bad is happening. Tony and Ivy's relationship has been really rocky since the beginning. Really? Technically, on paper, I would say that Tony and Ivy are perfect for each other. At least most people would think that. Both of them graduated from Tsinghua University, which is one of China's top universities. It's like their Yale. It's their Harvard.
Yeah.
And even there's those little quizzes that give you impossible options. Like you can pick to have one, $5 million. Your pet gets to live forever. You get to marry your soulmate. You get to graduate from Tsinghua. Most people would choose Tsinghua because it's not even just like you get the respect, the reputation. Yeah. It is the most elite school that you can get into.
And education is weighted much heavier in Asia. Yeah.
It doesn't just make you a better work prospect, it's just the prestige. So they both major in computer science and engineering at Tsinghua University. Then both of them immigrate to the US and
Does that mean like his first love also is from Tsinghua?
Yeah. Then they both immigrate to the US and both Tony and Ivy, they finish their PhD in computer science at UC San Diego. So once they graduate from UC San Diego, they go naturally to the Bay Area to join, they were just trying to join one of the Mango companies. They used to call it something else, but now they call it Mango. So it's Meta, Apple, NVIDIA, Google, and OpenAI.
When you say that, like they were not dating in college in China though, right?
They were not dating at Tsinghua University. They start kind of becoming closer at UC San Diego.
Okay. Were they friends?
Some people say that they knew of each other at Tsinghua.
Okay.
But he was still on and off with his ex-girlfriend at Tsinghua University.
I see.
Then at UC San Diego, they were friends. They kind of knew each other, and then they started slowly dating.
Got it.
So right after graduating, they both don't actually immediately go to Google. Tony goes to Google, and Ivy actually goes to Amazon as a software engineer. And Tony specifically starts working at the YouTube Shorts algorithm department of Google. Strongsville, Ohio. A car carrying 3 young adults slams into a brick building at 100 miles per hour, leaving 2 dead and 1 fighting for their life. The 17-year-old behind the wheel, Mackenzie Shrilla, was driving her boyfriend Dom and his friend Davian home from a party when the tragedy occurred. Authorities arrive on scene, but what initially seemed like a heartbreaking accident began to look like a calculated crime scene. The crash features interviews with the police, friends, and families of everyone in the car as it unwinds the truth of what occurred. Where do the fatal mistakes end and the cold-blooded murder begin? Watch The Crash, May 15th, only on Netflix. I've discovered the secret to fresh, easy laundry days, and I'm never going back. Tide Evo tiles have evolved my laundry game for the better. Tide Evo is packed with 6 concentrated cleaning layers that activate instantly in water to fight 100% of common stains, including grass and dirt. There's no measuring, no pouring, and no mess. On top of that, Tide Evo has the environment in mind. I feel good buying a laundry product that doesn't come in those big, bulky plastic containers.
Tide sponsorship
I think
now?
takes a long time to break down.
Jesus
Tide Evo
Christ.
tiles come in completely recyclable packaging, and they work
Get your
just as
bag.
great in tap cold cycles, meaning less energy wasted heating water. Tide Evo is also fantastic for travel. I'll just throw a few in my bag or like a side pocket, and they lay flat. My clothes smell fresh, and I'm never thinking about liquids through TSA, let alone leaks or spills. Remember, it takes real teamwork to solve a crime and to fight stubborn stains. Try new Tide Evo Real Laundry Magic.
Wow. You're gonna get a sponsorship for everything nowadays.
So on paper,
Okay.
it seems like the two of them are on the same page. Their resumes are stacked. But for the very super cutthroat Chinese matchmakers, they would say that Tony is marrying down, which makes me want to punch the nearest
Why?
car salesman in my vicinity. But they say that for high school. Tony attended Chengdu No. 7 High School. It's widely regarded as one of the top schools in the province or even the entire country of China. So Chengdu No. 7 is known as a key point high school. So they receive priority when it comes to funding and resources. They get the best teachers. They have the most funding for educational resources. They have a stunning campus that looks more like a college campus than a high school. They have mini parks and koi ponds on the campus of a high school. They also have the highest number of kids going to the Ivy Leagues in China. In 2022, that one high school had 70 students admitted into Tsinghua and Beijing University. In 2023, 79 students. 2024, 90 students. 2025, 99 students admitted. They also have a study abroad program, which Tony went to for his senior year of the high school. It's $50,000 a semester, just so he can study in the US. Classmates remember Tony coming from a very, very well-off family. They believe that his dad was a leader in some sort of government-affiliated organization. He had a thing for model airplanes. He was like a key member of the school's Science and Technology Association that his parents were involved in. He would also write these like study tips for other classmates of like how to systematically remember material. Yeah, he even won a province-wide, statewide award when he was in elementary school for outstanding youth citizen of Sichuan province.
Dang.
So they're saying he went to this high school and his parents are very powerful in the government and they seem very well off. Ivy also comes from a very good high school, a key point high school in her province, really cutthroat school. The school has a very brutal hierarchy starting in middle school where you get a rolling class system. So students are ranked and reshuffled based on exam performance.
Your ranking, right?
Yeah, so
Wow.
class 1 is known as the key point class. They get the best teachers and the best resources. The brightest students, toward the end, all the way to class 27, you really have students that are like left to fend for themselves, if you will. And this high school is already like the smartest of the smart kids. So if you're in the more advanced classes, the elite and key point classes, you typically end up studying a lot more. It's relentless. It's normal for students to forego lunch breaks and routinely study past midnight. Some of them will stand up against the walls in the hallway to stay awake to memorize material. The school though, this school specifically that she went to, so Tony's school, most of the kids were really well off. Ivy School, there's a huge wealth gap. Some students come from very privileged backgrounds similar to Tony. They get to eat whatever they want, spend as much money on school supplies as they want, get the latest technology, everything. Whereas students who don't do well, you know who they are because most of the time they're studying and eating steam buns and pickles.
Is it Ivy?
Yeah, Ivy comes from an average family. She doesn't come from a family that's not doing well, which honestly, you would think that this is a better catch because
Yeah, it's more impressive, right?
yeah, but I guess when you are talking about East Asian culture of prestige and family lineage, they're like, well, Tony's a super catch. And Ivy is just a poor girl who clawed through it to become even more successful. Who cares about that? So she comes from a very average family. I mean, they were okay. So much so that even during Ivy's senior year of high school, Ivy's mom quit her job for a year, which is actually very common
Yeah.
amongst
Why?
the more average families in terms of socioeconomic status. For the privileged families, usually one of the parents don't work. But for the
what?
average families, one of the parents will take off for a year because it's not like the schools in the US where you naturally live very close to your school, especially if you're in the public school system, because that's how it's zoned. You go to a school because you live in that zip code. But in
Yeah.
China, you have to travel to certain schools, especially if you get into one of these key point high schools. So her mom quit her job, so they rented this tiny little apartment near the high school campus so that she could support her full time. They're known as full-time study support moms.
Oh, wow.
There's like a whole culture and language and groups
Yeah.
about it. Parents relocate because they want to eliminate long commutes. They want to make sure that the kids don't have to do laundry, commute. They're cooking all the food. Ivy maintains consistent high rankings all through high school, and ultimately she scores 702 out of 750 on the 2014 Gaokao.
Gaokao, yeah. Like the
That's
exam,
impressive as
the
fuck.
college entry exam.
And she is the city's science top scholar. So she scores the highest in science. With one teacher saying about Ivy, she's very well behaved and introverted, not usually expressive, but she's particularly outstanding in the science subjects, still balanced across the others, including English and Mandarin. Her grades are excellent, and the Gaokao was exceptional. She also holds herself to very, very high standards. The teacher recalls that one time she forgot to bring her books to class. And the teacher is like, okay, I know you, Ivy. Like, you're not one of those kids that's messing around and forgetting carelessly. Like, it's just one day that you forgot your books. She was like sobbing just in the corner because she was so disappointed in herself. She was so upset with herself for making a dumb mistake like that. But and both of them end up at Tsinghua. But because Tony's parents are high up in government positions and Ivy's parents are just normal, well-to-do people, the matchmaking, according to a lot of people, was not equal. According to a lot of people that you would maybe want to punch in the face. But they're not working with matchmakers. They're just naturally meeting each other at either Tsinghua or UC San Diego. They start dating officially around the time that they're at UC San Diego. And a fellow classmate says, their relationship seemed really respectful and harmonious. I mean, that's really the only way that you can describe it. They're not really people that tell you a lot, though. So it's not like everyone would know about their dating history. They're not really someone that like posts lovey-dovey things on social media. They're not going around just like making out in hallways. They're just very private. They say that Ivy barely spoke. I mean, she's very quiet. She's not the type to be like, oh, this is my boyfriend. This is who I'm dating. Let me tell you about my relationship. So people don't really know, but it just seemed like a good match just based off their energies. So when they graduate, they're still dating, now working at separate companies. And Ivy decides that she's going to make the very unusual choice of leaving Amazon to go work at Google. Now, I will say, I have heard that Google is a better working environment than Amazon. However,
I'm not surprised
Ivy
by that.
was up for a promotion when she left Amazon.
So they are all making very, very good money.
Yeah,
Right?
it estimated probably total compensation $200,000-$300,000 a year.
Each.
Yes, each.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
decent.
But like he was comparing her to her ex
Yeah.
in money and income, right? He was talking about that.
Yeah, so I was looking at, I mean, I couldn't get a exact, but
Yeah.
based off of their job descriptions, it seemed like maybe the ex-girlfriend was making a few tens of thousands of dollars more a year, which is a lot, but not really when you're making $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's not
So
like one of them
bizarre,
is
yeah.
making $300,000 and the other one's making $50,000.
Yeah, it's almost like he just want to put her down
Yeah.
for whatever.
Pretty much.
Everything, right?
Very
Everything,
abusive.
because that's what he does at Amazon. So she's working at Amazon. And like I said, yes, I have heard that Google is a better working environment. So naturally, a lot of people might leave Amazon to work at Google depending on the position that they want to get into. But Ivy is up for a promotion at Amazon. So technically, a lot of people are saying it would be a lot more advantageous had she stayed at Amazon, got the promotion, maybe even worked in that position for a little while, and then she
Then
could actually, yes,
Reapply.
to Google, and she could probably get in at a better position
Yeah.
and a better pay total comp.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what a normal person would do. But why did she move to Google all of a sudden? Like, did she just really want to work at Google? Was there an opening? And she was like, you know what? I don't mind taking a pay cut and I'll just go work at Google. But people who are really close to the couple say that's probably not why. They say that Tony, he's very calm, but he seems really controlling. And there were lots of, from what people remember, tense fights about Tony doesn't know anyone at Amazon, and he doesn't know if Ivy is talking to or potentially even flirting with a lot of male colleagues, because he would never know. He just always seemed very anxious that
kinda
Ivy was
guy.
cheating on him, which seems like a masterclass in just projection. But
In
one
abuse.
person close to the couple states that Ivy was not excited to work at Google. I mean, she likes Google, but like she was really excited to get promoted at Amazon. She was
Damn.
about to be up for this promotion. She had her whole career track that was going well. It would make more sense to get the promotion and then, move to a different company. The only reason she moved was to maintain her relationship with Tony. There were rumors that Tony at gatherings with people, a former classmate of theirs would say, okay, it was weird. During gatherings, he would constantly be glued to her side and he would just watch her closely. But it doesn't come off as like the kind of closeness that you expect from a very affectionate couple of like, oh, he just wants to be by her. Oh, he just wants to help her when she's grabbing something. It almost seems like he's analyzing every single person that she's talking to, every single thing that she's saying. It feels like he's monitoring her. It didn't feel sweet. It didn't feel, oh, like he's just a little protective. It just felt creepy. It felt overbearing and uncomfortable, like aggressively possessive to the point where the two of them would get into some sort of argument at the gathering. They're never like fighting in front of people, but it's like you can tell that they fought at the gathering because suddenly the energy shifts. Everybody's uncomfortable. It's just something happened. He felt like she could easily form close bonds with male employees. So there were rumors that he's constantly accusing her of cheating on him with male colleagues. He wouldn't even let her go shopping with female friends without his presence there. So he convinces her to come to Google.
Ladies, don't do it. If everything that Stephanie Sue is talking right now is something, well, it's something that you also are experiencing as a person in a relationship, leave him or her. Leave that person. This is exhausting. This is extremely toxic. I feel like in this age, we are supposed to know better as a society. Okay, grown people, we're supposed to know better than this. And I'm not blaming the poor girl who fucking got murdered, by the way. I'm just saying, like, if you haven't heard that this is unacceptable behavior, you just heard it from me. So that's that. If that's how your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner acts, leave that person yesterday. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk.
And he's like, it's actually going to be a lot more convenient for us
I need to
too
fucking
because we could
clean my
commute together and like we have the same perks. Like it's just, and Google's better. Everybody likes working at Google more, which again, valid, but like, Meanwhile, Ivy misses out on a potential promotion, starts a whole new job. Tony is out there telling friends, while this is happening, she's giving up all of this. Tony is out there telling friends, I didn't even really want to get married to begin with. I just kind of felt pressured because everybody around me is getting married. Everybody around me is buying a house. Everybody's having a kid. So I just thought that that's what I have to do. And I just thought the person that I would do that with is Ivy because she's the one that I'm dating. The whole time during Tony and Ivy's marriage, he's obsessed with the idea that she's just not good enough for him. And it's really bizarre. Like he talks to his friends about how Ivy does not make as much as him. He also talks about how Ivy doesn't make as much as some of his friends' wives. But the only reason that she's not even making as much as his friends' wives is because she moved to Google instead of staying at Amazon where she was up for that promotion. And Google engineers, they're ranked from L3 to L10. So like Ivy was an L3. Tony was an L4 engineer. L10 is the highest.
Bro.
Yeah, so he's not even like an L9 and she's an L3. And total comp for an L3 engineer is still probably around like $220,000 a year. L4 is around $312,000 a year. So it's not like he's making, I mean, it is a lot of money, but it's not enough to be like, we're just getting by. You need to make more money. It doesn't make any sense. A mutual friend of theirs says whenever Tony would say those things to Ivy, she would just be down and you could tell. It's not like she would have an outburst. She never lashed out, which nobody would be upset with her if she did. But she just would feel really hopeless is the feeling. Ivy's friend Wang and Wang's husband know all of this. So the morning after the most uncomfortable dinner, Wang and her husband are both texting and calling both Tony and Ivy like, hey, last night was awkward, but like, are you okay? Hello? They're getting no response. And it's making Wang really uncomfortable. I mean, they clearly feel so uncomfortable that she's like, get up. Like, we're going to go drive to their house again and see if they're okay. So this is like the second time in less than 24 hours. They're like, I'm going to go to her house and we're going to see what's going on. When they get there, it's the same as last night. So Tony and Ivy's cars are parked outside in the driveway and they go to ring the doorbell. Nobody is answering. Wong is like pushing her face up against the window and she feels like she sees a figure inside, but they're not moving. So she's like, it seems like a shadow. It seems like the shadow of a person, but they're so immobile. She's like, I don't know what that is. And I was just inside that house. I don't think that they had a random piece of furniture that looks like that in there, but she's so confused. She doesn't know what to do. And so she does something that is, I do have to note, I think a lot of traditionally Chinese people are not the quickest to call the police.
Yeah,
I think they're not the quickest to escalate, right? But I think that goes to show like Wong is feeling very uncomfortable. She's like, no, this is not just me seeing like a figure in the window and I'm like hallucinating. She's like, something's weird. And I think the reason that, okay, this is like some nuance and context. I'm not saying that this is what I would do or you should do in this situation, but I think for these types of friend groups, when they're all in tech and they all have these very prestigious jobs, to call the police and to cause a commotion.
Do you know if they're citizens or they're with
They're
some sort of...
not. They're all with an
visa?
HB1 visa.
Right. So involving any legal system will be very complicated. Yeah.
And then imagine like the police show up and your friends are fine. It's almost like, okay, I'm so sorry. I was so dramatic. And I think most friends would be okay with it. I think Ivy would have been fine with it. But it's just, it takes a lot to call the police in this type of situation. And Wong is like, no, I need to call the police. Like something is weird. And I'm telling you, something is weird.
But she doesn't know what she's seeing? Like, did she... What, like you say she sees a figure or sees something?
She thought she saw a figure. It's unclear. And she's like, but I just feel like somebody's inside. But they're not getting the door and their cars are outside. And I thought I saw a figure, but it was very immobile. So it's not moving. So I'm like, I can't tell you it's one of them, but I feel like somebody's inside the house.
Okay.
So like, why would they not open the door if somebody's inside the house? And even last night, after their fight, they opened the door. So it's not like they're not going to open the door and be like, hey, why are you here? We're fighting. Don't come unannounced. At least Ivy would open the door and be like, not right now. Like, let me call you later. But nobody's opening the door. She calls the police. Police come. They're searching through and they're like going through the house. They're doing a sweep because it's a wellness check. So they're, searching around the perimeter of the house first. They walk to the backyard and they also see a figure. So they're like, okay, something's a little strange. Let's break through the back door.
On the main floor?
Yeah, they see like movement.
Oh,
so they're like, okay, this is weird. Let's kick in the back door. And then they don't see that movement anymore on the first floor. They go up to the second floor and they see Tony on his knees, covered in blood. Like, I feel like covered is a word that gets thrown around in a lot of cases, but he was like drenched in blood. The whole room was drenched in blood. This house was dubbed the murder house in the Bay Area because that whole room, the carpets, the walls, everything had blood splatter everywhere. To a degree where it almost doesn't make sense. The way that the police describe it, it almost seems like, how can there be that much blood? And he's on his knees and he's got his hands in the air and he's just staring at Ivy's body. Ivy is laying on the ground next to him and she has like dried, matted blood all over her face. Her face is unrecognizable. And I think the part that was the most alarming for authorities is her face is not unrecognizable through, typically bullet wounds will make a face unrecognizable. Yeah. There's no gun involved. There's no knife involved. There's no weapon involved. Tony had punched his wife to death with his bare hands.
Fucking Christ.
And she's unrecognizable from the force of his punching. He punched her repeatedly until she died. And when she was gone and he was sure that she's dead, he continues punching her. 2 months before Ivy's murder, Tony has a lunch date at Google. Google has those cafeterias and he's going to be meeting his white rose, his ex-girlfriend, Zhang, the ex-girlfriend. She's visiting from Seattle, which like I said, she works at Waymo and She just ended her engagement to her fiance who worked at Google DeepMind. She's technically single, but she knows that Tony is married to Ivy. She knows this. This is not like up for debate. He's not like, oh, we're separated right now. She knows that he is actively married. And during this Google cafeteria date where Tony works at Google.
Is she here for work trip or personal trip?
Personal trip for her birthday.
Oh.
So she's like, I'm going to go to California for my birthday because I want to see a concert. And he's like, hey, you should come to the fucking Google cafeteria and meet me for lunch. This is where Tony works. This is where his wife, Ivy, works.
Yeah.
And he's just meeting up with his ex-girlfriend, eating lunch. It's audacious. It's ballsy. It's likely the two of them are sitting there reminiscing about their past. I mean, there's got to be people who know both of them who are like, hey, I don't know why your husband's having lunch with some random girl in the cafeteria.
Yeah, that's crazy. What made him feel so ballsy of doing that?
There are multiple speculations. One, I think that he just genuinely does not care about his wife. Second, I think that he was worried that if he left Google campus to go meet Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, Ivy would have found out. Maybe they have Find My Location on, maybe something like that. And then third, he's still trying to convince Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, to transfer to SF to join Google. He's like, I'll refer you. He keeps trying to, in the Google Doc, he's like, I can get you a referral. I can get you a job. Why work at Waymo when you can come work here?
So this is like him showing her the work environment.
Yeah. And they're reminiscing about their past, which their past relationship is just, it's okay. I mean, they both started dating in high school at Chengdu No. 7 High School. They both get into Tsinghua University, but Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, is the type where she just seems like she really liked breaking up with him because he's obsessed with her. So she doesn't really,
Wow.
and I mean this with as much disrespect as I could probably have for this type of situation. She seems like the type of girl that will break up with him because she knows that he's always going to be around. But the minute that he starts loosening his obsession with her or starts dating somebody else, she starts going in and feeding him some attention, brings him back, and then she pulls away. And then the minute that he starts diverting his attention, she goes back and says some things. That's the energy that she gives me. And honestly, she is kind of a bitch, even the way that she testifies. I don't think she's the villain in this story because ultimately at the end of the day, Tony is the villain in this story. But she's also like, everyone is like, she's crazy.
Yeah, for her to show up in even at the Google cafeteria, knowing that, you know, his wife works here too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Even if you know, like she knows what's going to happen if the wife walks in.
Mm-hmm. And she is the type that she kind of is just keeping Tony around because he might be her best bet. So she's back because her best bet ended up getting arrested for soliciting sex workers at the massage parlor. So the way that it happened was she just keeps breaking up with him all throughout high school and college. Then Tony and Ivy go to UC San Diego. She goes to Carnegie Mellon for her master's. So they all come to the US around the same time, but they're in different areas. So she's at Carnegie Mellon, she's in Pennsylvania, and then he's in California. Naturally, they're not keeping in touch as frequently, but she'll reach out when she feels like he's not reaching out. But then she meets her fiance. Better background than Tony's, wealthier family than Tony's. He got sent to this international school that would cost his family $400,000 to get his undergrad degree.
What kind of school is that?
It was like a whatever school.
Oh, so they just cash in.
Yeah, just throwing money.
Okay.
And so she starts dating him. Tony finds out that she's dating a guy that is above his caliber. And he almost forces himself to move on. And he immediately starts dating Ivy. And a lot of people think that the relationship escalated so quickly. Nobody said it, but they felt like he was using Ivy to try to make Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, jealous, trying to comfort himself. It just felt like a rebound situation, but nobody would question it. So Tony is the one that actually pursues Ivy aggressively at UC San Diego. And the whole time, he's still kind of talking to Jiang, the ex-girlfriend. Eventually, they go to SF. Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, and her fiance go to Seattle. And again, I just want to reiterate, all four of them work at Alphabet. And this is really important later because Tony has a full-blown meltdown about all of this. So all of them technically work for the same parent company, even though they're in different cities and they work for different companies. Now, Tony and Ivy get married. Tony explains to Jiang, the ex-girlfriend, it's mainly because, quote, the girl wants to get married. So he's like, I don't even really, and then you didn't want to get married, and the girl wants to get married, so I'm just going to get married. They get married, they purchase a house, putting $500,000 down. They finance the rest through a mortgage. They get 2 cats, and Jung, the ex-girlfriend in Seattle, gets engaged. Then they start reminiscing here and there about their relationship. She breaks the engagement because her fiance gets arrested. Then she comes up with this whole Google Doc, sends it to him. And then after they've been talking for like a month on the Google Doc, this is October 2023, she starts being like, you know what? I am going to make a trip to California for my birthday, which is in November. And I'm going to go there for a concert. And if you want to meet up with me, then let's meet up.
Wait, so she sent this Google Doc to him
Yes.
instead of texting him or emailing him. It's very clear. And she reached out secretly to chat.
Yeah. And a Google Doc is crazy. Like if you wanted to say, send a goodbye message, convert it to a PDF, email it, mail a letter. Why are you sharing a Google Doc?
Yeah.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah. And even if I get a Google Doc, I don't think about talking to someone through Google Doc. I would just
text them and be like, okay, that was weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. So they start texting during this Google Doc. And a month later, a month in November, during Tony and Ivy's wedding anniversary, Jung, the ex-girlfriend, travels to California to attend this concert for her birthday. Before leaving Seattle, she makes plans to see Tony while she's in California. And she admits the whole reason of wanting to even go to California to this specific concert was because she wanted to see Tony. She says that straight up. And that's how she ends up at the Google cafeteria eating lunch with her high school college ex-boyfriend. 2 days later, when Jung, the ex-girlfriend, is going to fly back home to Seattle, they meet once again, and he offers to drive her to the airport. She's like, okay, fine. So he drives her to the airport, and he wants to say goodbye. Jung, the ex-girlfriend, concocts a story that nobody believes on the witness stand when she testifies later, and she says that he kissed her on the cheek, and she felt it was very uncomfortable. She did not consent to that.
What?
Yeah. But then later stories come out from an airport worker who was like, no, I remember that couple. And they were just like lingering the whole time, just like hanging out, lingering. So they're just saying, I mean, maybe she didn't consent to a kiss on the cheek, but it just like the whole energy was weird. Like they were all over each other kind of vibe.
Bro, you did so much worse than like that kiss, I feel like, right?
Yeah. So he kisses her on the cheek, and it was just, she claims it was not okay, and she was just utterly surprised by it. They part ways, and it feels like Tony doesn't even care about Ivy finding out, because she does not express to him in that moment when he kisses her on the cheek, like, that was not okay. That was uncomfortable. You shouldn't have done that. And again, this is not me saying like, oh, this was consensual. It's just weird. It's weird. The airport employee is like, what are you talking about? Like, you guys were kind of all right, but like, you know what? Whatever. And she's like, no, I was highly uncomfortable. And there's a lot of reasons that she might want to say this in the courthouse. Anyway, she says she doesn't tell him at the airport that made her uncomfortable. So she just like leaves. He's under the impression things went really well because he kissed her on the cheek. They hung out. They spent time together. He goes back home. He doesn't even seem stressed about the idea that his wife is going to find out that he was just at the airport, even though it's around their 2nd year anniversary. He's busy with his ex-girlfriend. And also, the timing itself does not seem coincidental. Jung, the ex-girlfriend, came to California for a concert for her birthday. Her birthday is November 21st. Tony and Ivy got married November 22nd. A lot of people think that Tony intentionally timed the wedding to coincide with Jung, the ex-girlfriend's birthday, so she would always have to think about him and his marriage during her birthday.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Just the way that he's so obsessed over her.
Yeah. When Tony gets back home from the airport, Ivy is waiting for him. She saw his location at the airport, and she knew from social media that Jung, the ex-girlfriend, was in town. Tony was at the airport. She's putting it together pretty quickly. She's a very intelligent woman, and that tells her all she needs to know. But she's very pissed off about the fact that when he walks in, coming back from the airport, like, she's already upset. He walks in wearing the jacket that she bought him.
Who?
Ivy. So Ivy had bought Tony a jacket, and he wore it to drop off his ex-girlfriend at the airport. They start arguing. She suggests, like, why don't we just get a divorce? Like, we're literally tormenting each other. It doesn't even make sense. If you love your ex-girlfriend so much, go be with her. Don't involve me. And she had disclosed a lot of this information to her friend Wang. So she's like, I just genuinely don't get it. Like, why are you involving me? Because this is happening in November. So this is 2 months before her death. She's like, I don't know why you have to involve me. Just go be with her. Like, why sneak around? Go be with the love of your life. I don't care. Like, let's get a divorce. So Tony's like, okay, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. Except within a few hours into their fight, Tony gets a message from Jung, the ex-girlfriend, where she lands in Seattle and she's like, hey, by the way, I was really uncomfortable about that airport kiss and like, I never want to see you again.
What?
I don't know. Tony realizes that he can no longer get back together with Jung, the ex-girlfriend. His only option in his mind is now to grovel and beg for Ivy to come back.
Wow.
I don't know why being single is not an option.
Yeah.
I don't know why he has to terrorize Ivy. I don't know. He's just not the type to break up with someone and do something as big as separate their assets, sell the house. He likes to have a bigger exit plan is how people describe him. It seems like he's only willing to divorce Ivy if that means he's gonna,
benefits.
and he's gonna get something out of the divorce,
Right.
Wow.
which is maybe the ex-girlfriend. He gets to marry her. But he starts making up excuses about how this airport was the last true goodbye. Like him saying goodbye one last time. They will never ever be in each other's lives again. He like just wanted to get closure from his ex-girlfriend. He omits, he never mentions this kiss. Never mentions it. Or the fact that Jung, the ex-girlfriend, was like, I never want to see you again. He never mentions it. He was like, I just dropped her off at the airport so we could get final closure. And Ivy decides that she is going to forgive him one last time. So for the next few months, they continue posting regularly on their cat's Instagram page, showing a very cute home life, at least from the outside perspective. They're watching TV, cooking. Tony is wearing his wedding ring in the pictures. Everything appears to be normal, except Tony starts feeling this really extreme pressure and paranoia at work. So apparently he made this mistake and his manager has been micromanaging him since. On top of that, this is right around the time where every tech company is just doing massive layoffs. I will say that neither the department that Tony nor Ivy worked in were experiencing any layoffs. So he just seemed very paranoid and unstable.
You think the fact that Jung rejected him played a big role in his...
Yes.
Okay.
And he starts feeling this paranoia that Jung, the ex-girlfriend, is going to report him for an HR violation to because they all work under the same parent company. And that's why it's very important. I guess like this was a huge thought in his mind. So I guess if maybe Jung had
would she
worked
do
for
that?
Meta or Amazon, he wouldn't have cared as much. But he's saying we all work under the same parent company and all she has to do is put in a complaint.
Where did this
Well, why
thought
would
come
she
from?
do that?
He just had this thought.
And how do we know this?
He eventually confesses to Ivy because he's so paranoid that he's going to get an HR violation and get fired because he kissed her on the cheek and that she's going to report him for it and get him fired. He tells her in January, I've been so stressed because this is what happened at the airport goodbye. I kissed her on the cheek and now I'm scared.
That is really odd.
That's
Yeah, so for
fucking
2 months, I don't know if, I don't want to say anything accusatory, but like maybe Jung mentioned it.
Oh.
Maybe she's kind of has the personality where she might do something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was a lot of like conversation of because we work all under the same parent company, it's going to be a lot more serious. Versus like if she worked at Meta and was like, hey, this guy that works at Google kissed me on the cheek and I didn't want it. It's not that big of a deal. I say it's not that big of a deal in terms of I don't think a massive corporation is going to say, you know what, I'm going to fucking fire you. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, this is a huge, I mean, imagine a colleague kisses you on the cheek without your consent. Like that's huge. Mm-hmm. So he starts having this paranoia and he's freaking out about it. He finally discloses it to Ivy in January and she's like, okay, like that's honestly my last straw. I want out. She starts digging and she finds the Google Doc.
So you're saying they indeed stopped talking after that trip?
Yeah.
Jung. Okay.
Or at least not in a good way. Like maybe there were messages of like, no, I hate you. I don't know. There was no affair. There was no continuous messages of what if.
That's so interesting. So Jung came over, has some hope of maybe connecting with him again. And then after that little trip, she's like, nah, I don't want you.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh my gosh, she's back.
So weird.
Yeah.
So he tells Ivy, she finds the Google Doc. Not only did he take her to the airport, he constantly lied about, and the Google cafeteria. She's finding out that he met her at the Google cafeteria, her workplace that she didn't even want to work at. She left Amazon to work at Google for him. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? She finds out through the Google Doc that he had asked Jung to get married and buy a house in SF, remember? And then she was like, no. So then he asked her. He wears the jacket that she bought him to bring his ex to the airport, kisses her on the cheek, lies about it. And all of this is happening around their wedding anniversary back in November. So she's reading all of this and she's like, okay. She writes in the Google Doc, I don't even know who you are, Tony. Like, I thought I knew who you were. I don't know who you are. I don't even know who you really are. Like, my life is a lie. She comments, and Zhang, the ex-girlfriend, responds. And instead of apologizing for reaching out to Tony, which is what any normal, morally upstanding person would do, of like, I mean, no morally upstanding person would even send this Google Doc in the first place or meet someone at the Google cafeteria, but they would say something along the lines of like, listen, I've had a massive lapse in judgment because I was going through a traumatic experience and I fucked up your life and I will forever owe it to you, or something along those lines. Yeah. But instead, Zhang, the ex-girlfriend, has the nerve to write back, I know how you feel. When I was dating Tony in college, he would always reach out to his other exes or other girls. So it was like a really difficult time for me. The mistress is trying to sympathize with the wife vibe. She's the one that reached out to Tony. Nobody in Ivy's position would ever want sympathy from Zhang, the ex-girlfriend of all people. Like, it's just uncalled for. You're the one that asked the married man to meet up and you asked him to take you to the airport for your birthday trip. Like, now suddenly you want to talk about how shitty he is and try to bond? Then Zhang, the ex-girlfriend, has the audacity to write in the Google Doc, Ivy, if I were your friend, I would tell you to leave the relationship. She's like, if you want friendly advice from me, you should leave Tony.
That's crazy. And Tony can read this too, right? Wow.
And that is when Ivy comments, I hate you. I hate all of you. February 9th, 2024 is Tony's very first court appearance. It's his plea hearing, and he shows up with a helmet on. It's a human restraint soft shell protective helmet, usually for those who have displayed self-exit tendencies. Wow. He's wearing a Santa Clara Sheriff Main Jail shirt. He's wearing an orange jumpsuit, which in every district, the colors of their jumpsuits are very different. Different colors have different meanings. So in Santa Clara, orange is standard for general population inmates. Red is for those with a history of violence or high-risk behavior who require isolation. Yellow, and so he's wearing orange and then a yellow on top of it. The one Tony is spotted wearing is typically mental health observation patients, is yellow, which makes sense given the helmet that he's wearing. Yeah. He's wearing the helmet. He's walking out behind his attorney. And this is an attorney that his parents paid for because his parents are very well off. And this is another very infuriating part about this trial is Ivy's an only child. I think there's a lot, like a lot of nuance and context that maybe Chinese netizens and Chinese viewers will understand more. So, I mean, China was going through the one-child policy, and Ivy's parents had put everything into Ivy.
Yes.
And she was the success story. And then she's just gone. And they couldn't even get to the US because the US would not give them a visa to come.
Wow. So the parents didn't come?
No, they tried so hard. I think eventually they were able to, but they had to spend so much money trying to jump through hoops, getting attorneys involved, just to try to come to the US to attend these trials. Tony's parents had no problem. They came to the US and they retained an attorney in SF who is known for representing lots of violent men who specifically love beating their partners. He's like known to be careful with my words here, but he's known to defend a lot of people who are accused of DV. Tony's wearing a helmet. He's almost like trying to hide behind his attorney, which doesn't work because he's 6'2" and he just looks dumb. He also lost a patch of hair. Could have been from attempted self-exit, but it's unclear. So a lot of Chinese netizens who were in the courthouse were like, there's just like a bald spot and it doesn't look natural. So it looks like maybe shaved. It looks like something's happening, but the helmet was in the way. His attorney later confirmed that yes, he did sustain a head injury, but could not provide further details. A lot of people think that they're just trying to lay the groundwork for a mental health defense, trying to argue diminished capacity, seeking to establish that he needs psychological evaluation and treatment rather than standard incarceration. When he walks out, he has this very blank and timid body language. However, I will say that his gaze looks like he doesn't look out of it. Like his eyes look sharp. He looks like he is in a decent state. He's analyzing, he's observing, he's taking it in. And during the 3 days, oh, and I'm sorry, I keep referencing it as a trial. It's not a trial, it's a preliminary hearing. So it's a 3-day preliminary hearing, but we still get lots of testimony. So we have the police that went to the house, they're testifying, and then you have the ex-girlfriend who's testifying, and it's pretty much for the judge to determine when the formal trial, if there is enough for a formal trial, which there is, it just hasn't been set yet.
Oh, still?
Yeah. So it's still ongoing, but yeah, I mean, unless, which I think it's highly doubtful that they're going to have a successful insanity plea. I think that we can kind of predict the outcome of this case because the evidence is just so, it's just so plentiful in this case that, yeah. The police, they testify of what it was like going through the house, seeing him in that state. I think during the trial, I would imagine that some variation of body camera footage would come out. I don't think a lot of the graphic imagery would come out, of course, and neither should it, but I think more of that would happen. The police talk about how Tony's arm was so severely swollen, it was almost purple. And I think that just, they're not saying that as in like, oh, he also has injuries, it was a two-sided fight. Like, that's not what they're indicating. They're saying that that is how extreme the punches were, because he kept going to the point where he is bruising up the entirety of his arm with the force of his punching. His left arm has some scratch marks, so there are defensive wounds that Ivy had left, but all of them are superficial. None of them would have produced really any blood that's covering him and the walls and the carpet and the door. I mean, there is blood covering every square inch of that room, really. They described how Ivy's face is completely unrecognizable, and Tony just had this very vacant look in his face. He was really calm when authorities asked him, "What happened to your hand?" And he responded coldly, "I punched my wife." When? Yesterday. There was a suitcase. It's unclear. I mean, it's unclear if he would have fled if Wang and her husband didn't show up. It's unclear. But there was a suitcase. It was like haphazardly packed. Some say that it didn't seem like he had any thought to flee. And the autopsy concluded that Ivy was killed by severe blunt force trauma to the head, resulting from repeated and brutal blows. The manner of death was obviously homicide. There was severe skull damage, facial swelling, a broken nose bridge, disfigurement to her face that made her unrecognizable, widespread bruising and contusions on her face, arms, legs, and torso. There were no really strong defensive wounds other than a few scratches on his arm. So there was not persistent with a prolonged struggle. But even after Ivy is unconscious and dead, Tony does keep beating her aggressively, just like blow after blow without stopping. Something to note is that Tony is pretty tall. He's 6'2". Ivy is 5'4". She is also reportedly very thin. I mean, he doesn't strike me as like a gym buff. It's not like he's so muscular, but he's clearly much larger than Ivy and can easily overpower her. Ivy is maybe around 100 pounds, if that. The police present the evidence that they have so far to try and bring this case to trial. They show ring footage camera. This is before Wang and her husband show up to the house for that awkward dinner. So you can hear fighting from the front door ring camera. So they're fighting inside the house. You can kind of hear it. At one point, one of the cats escape. So I don't know if one of them was trying to leave the house, but a cat runs out. So now they're trying to bring the cat back inside, and they're arguing back and forth of who's leaving, who's not leaving. It's clear that the emotions are really high. Everything is in Chinese. So a lot of the Chinese netizens and people who were in the courthouse were trying to decipher what was being said because, again, it's a preliminary hearing. So people haven't translated it professionally of like, oh, this is exactly every single word that was said and like this is the essence of the fight. Some people are reporting Ivy doesn't want Tony to leave and she's like trying to get him to stay. Other people are saying that Tony doesn't want Ivy to leave. It just seems either way, there's a very volatile fight happening inside of that house. Eventually, Tony is spotted leaving the house. Ivy is in a state of distress. She does call her parents, which she never does. She usually follows the very Chinese principle of like only report good news, not the bad news. Ivy's parents called Tony's parents. And because Ivy's parents are like, I don't know what's going on over there. They call Tony's parents. Tony's parents are like, he hasn't even talked to us in like a month. They're trying to get in contact with Tony and Ivy. Neither of them are picking up. That's when they call Wang and her husband. Tony comes back about 11 minutes before Wang and her husband show up.
We don't know where he went.
No. And then they present the cat footage to take this to trial. So that's really, I mean, they have other evidence. Obviously, they have the autopsy. They have probably, I don't know. I imagine Tony's the type to not say anything without an attorney present, because the police did indicate he just like would not say why. All he really said was like, I punched my wife.
But in the cat footage, what was happening? You were saying that there was a saw, there was some kind of motion. What was all that?
So the full breakdown, 12:21 a.m., Ivy appears at the back of the kitchen and she seems to be closing up. 1:04 a.m., the lights turn off. She heads upstairs. 4:43 a.m., Tony appears and his shirt is covered in blood. He's in the kitchen.
So you're saying when he appeared, it's already...
She's gone. And then 5:16 a.m., he appears again, and this time his right hand is more visibly swollen, apparently with the blood. 5:20 a.m., he's holding an electric circular saw in his hand.
So like he came back, killed her, and it was like, nah. I haven't hit it. I haven't hit her enough, and you went back to punch her some more, like. Child. Yeah, this poor girl, bro. This poor girl. It's actually such a horrific death to be punched to death by your husband. It's absolutely horrific. I can't even fathom the level of horror that she must have fucking went through as she was laying there dying. No, this man, he gotta die, bro. I'm sorry. You gotta die at this point. Like, you don't deserve to live, you fucking psycho. Jesus Christ.
To his neck, but he doesn't turn it on or use it. And I don't think that he has any, from what it seems from all the reporting of people who heard about the footage, it does not appear that he was putting on a show for the cat camera. It doesn't seem like this was something that he was performing. Because that was a huge question of like, is he performing?
So he bring this saw to his neck.
Yes.
Never turned on.
No.
Like very quickly.
Yeah. But again, that's not, I do want to clarify that that's not indicative of him not being in a right state of mind. That's just, he probably doesn't want to deal with the consequences, but he also can't self-exit. Like, this is not saying, oh, he's out of his mind. And then again, he goes to the kitchen at around 8 in the morning. And then he tries to put a large knife to his neck, but he doesn't do anything yet again. So we can imagine that between 1:04 a.m. and 4:43 a.m., Tony brutally beat his wife to death with his bare fists, and then eventually tried to self-exit, but it didn't work. There was a suitcase. Maybe he thought about fleeing, but that didn't work. And then he was found in, quote, a catatonic state. So a lot of people, because, I mean, we don't know why he's done it because the trial has yet to formally begin, although I don't know when it's going to. But a lot of people have started coming up with their reasonings of why this happened, because it doesn't make sense. Even if he were to, I mean, it's not that much reputational harm to get a divorce and split assets. Yeah. None of this makes sense to people that are, I guess, in a right state of mind. So people have come up with just some bizarre reasonings. Some people are saying it was probably the layoffs and the intense pressure of work because both of them are on HB1 visas and he snapped. That's what some people are saying. I just think that it's highly unlikely. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's like a really weird reasoning for something like this. It's weird. They're both highly educated individuals. Tony is highly educated. His parents come from money. Like he would have been fine. Even if he had to go back to China, he would have been fine. The ex-girlfriend also goes up to testify, and I would say that her testimony is just a testimony of convenience in my feeling and my honest opinion, my personal opinion. There are times where she distinctly remembers how she felt in certain moments, and then she'll completely forget what she told Tony or things that she said in the Google document. As per the Google document, she says that, yeah, I don't mind sharing the whole thing to the world. I just want to make sure that it is professionally translated into English so that nothing is taken out of translation, nothing is misconstructed, misconstrued, like nothing is miscommunicated. It just needs to be done well. And then later she petitions to the judge like, this is my personal diary and I don't need it to be public, which they accept. So this Google Doc has not been made public. I mean, that's as of right now during these preliminary trial hearings, but who knows for the actual trial if it's going to become public.
So they only share a few quotes? Is that why?
Yeah. and she was asked directly about certain quotes. And then when it becomes inconvenient, because people are wondering, like, in the Google Doc, were you making it a big thing about wanting Ivy gone? Were you just saying things like, oh, if she were gone, we could be together? And this is not anybody saying that she instigated this or that she is the cause of this, because Tony is the only one that did this. But I think people are just trying to get the full picture of what's happened. And again, I don't like the ex-girlfriend. I don't think that she is somebody that I would personally be friends with or want to have in any personal or professional circle of mine in any capacity. However, she is nowhere near as vile as Tony.
Of course.
Yeah.
So there are some people who hate her more than they hate Tony. And I'm like, okay, that's
misogyny. Like, yeah, she's a bitch, but she's not the one who committed a murder. Like that's just very, very annoying misogyny, you know? Like, the dude literally, he punched his wife to death, for the love of God. He punched his wife to death to the point where she was not even recognizable. She was just being a bitch. The fact that, like, women will be like, a woman who's being a bitch is gonna be compared to a guy who literally punched his wife to death and making her face unrecognizable is crazy. Can we please? Like, you have the right not to like her, but that she's just dumb. She's annoying. She's a cunt. Moving on. He's a monster. Those are not the same. Those are not the same. Those are not the same. And we really, 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 really need to understand that as a society and apply that to multiple other things.
weird. She is a bizarre individual with my personal opinion, a low moral code, but she's not Tony. Tony is still the one that did all of this allegedly. She keeps arguing in court that this Google Doc was just like a delete key for her. She just wanted to get out her feelings and delete it. But they're like, if you wanted to delete it, why'd you send it to Tony? Why didn't you just delete it?
Exactly.
She also asked him to meet multiple times, according to her in the testimony. And one person states, how is this in any way deleting the past? It's literally the complete opposite. She's just stringing Tony along to feed her own ego, fishing for sympathy and attention because her own life is unraveling. A lot of people say in Mandarin, there's a saying that it's along the lines of like, you know you're a homewrecker and you still choose to be a homewrecker. So I think it's like this essence of you give people grace if they had no idea that the person was married. Mm-hmm. But the minute you know and you still do it, like you chose this.
Fuck you.
Also, to make it a little bit worse, she does get married while all of this preliminary hearings are taking place to her best friend's ex-boyfriend.
That's crazy.
No shame.
Is what has been reported by netizens. I mean, I don't know them personally, so I can't tell you if they were really best friends, but people who knew them have come out to say, no, it was literally her best friend's boyfriend. Yeah.
Wow.
So people have commented, she always keeps an eye on other people's bowls. There's a classic saying that we are not afraid of thieves stealing, we are afraid of thieves coveting. There is a lot of, again, cultural nuance that I think is really hard for me to try and describe, but people don't think that Tony would throw away his life unless Ivy did something really bad.
Oh, wow.
Is what a lot of, not a lot, but a chunk of Chinese netizens believe. Because I think in a lot of East Asian cultures, this is like the dream life, to have this type of educational background, to come from a wealthy family. Nobody really gets that. So they just cannot grasp the concept that he would do something like this. And this is like, I wholeheartedly disagree and fundamentally want to smack the back of someone's head if they believe this.
Literally repeatedly punching the face of your wife to death, even after she died, to the point where she's unrecognizable and you nearly break your hand, is obviously a sign of, like, he snapped. We literally, there's a term for that. It's called a crime of passion. The man snapped. And the idea that to snap, like, because, like, we also hear so many stories of men who snap and, like, they do terrible things. Like, there's this story here in Quebec, Canada, where, like, this doctor found out that his wife is cheating with the gym personal trainer, and in a fit of rage, instead of going after his wife, he stabbed his children to death 52 times or something like that, to death. Their little body. And to this day, he's in a mental health hospital. Um, yeah. So, yikes. Fuck that. But in this case, she cheated. But I remember seeing, like, I literally lost a friend over that when he said, "Oh my god, well, if she didn't cheat it, her children would still be alive." Dude, cheating is not a reason to stab your children to death. And it's kind of crazy that this has to be said out loud. But cheating is not a reason to stab your children to death. And the fact that in this case, she didn't do, all she did was existing. She existed. She existed, and he hated her for that. He hated her. He hated the fact that it was her and not his ex. He was a dumb, stupid, fucking asshole. Disgusting man. Like, regardless of whether it's provoked or not, nothing justifies killing someone, punching your wife to death, or stabbing your children to death. Nothing. Cultural norm be damned. He's a monster. He's trash. But he also snapped. I don't think he's gonna, like, the insanity plea would necessarily work, Mr. Google engineer. Although the dude in Quebec is very controversial because a lot of people don't like the fact that he's in a mental health hospital instead of regular prison. Whatever. But in this case, it's a crime of passion, but I don't know, like, how much the passion side of the crime impacts the judgment, like the verdict or whatever. The sentencing, I don't know how that works. I'm not in the United States. I'm not a US citizen. All I know is this man is trash. I'm trying to do something, and it's not giving what I wanted to give, but I wonder it's because of color theory. I don't hate it though. It's going somewhere. It's not over. Trust the process. Fuck this man.
But it's an odd thing, but they think it. And so they've naturally come up with all of these reasons of what Ivy could have done. Right. And the first comes down to Vince. Vince is like a UCSD lore. Remember I told you about Vince? I heard about Vince like
what does Vince have to do with this?
What is Vince?
Yeah, so Vince is I don't even know how real Vince is. I think he's real. I don't know. A few years ago, I was sent this like PDF of this guy named Vince who went to UCSD. He's a Chinese exchange student.
That's cool.
And this PDF file was so graphic. You saw pictures that he was like a sexual deviant. He would turn cameras on in classrooms, like at UCSD during Zoom classrooms, and he would be having intimate relations with people's partners, girlfriends. There was a rumor that he had such intense intimate relations with a pregnant woman that it caused her to have a prolapse in her back region. There were rumors that he got off on cutting off external private parts that men had, and he would eat them with noodles. And I saw a picture of what appeared to be one in a bowl of noodles, though it's unclear
what is happening,
if that is connected to Vince, though it's unclear if that is a real picture. This has been like, I think a lot of Chinese Americans know the whole Vince lore, or at least have heard of Vince from UCSD.
So people just connected that just because she went to UCSD?
So people started manufacturing screenshots of her being in chat rooms with Vince. And then people started coming out with fake testimony saying, oh, I actually saw her in one of the PDF files, and she was one of the women that was with Vince.
What
this
the hell
is
are we doing?
just not true. This is literally slanderous. Like, it's not, none of this is true. People were proving it because they were saying, oh, she was responding in this group chat. And then people who were in the group chat is like, no, I have the records. Also, like, why are you in the group chat? I don't know. Wow. But they were like, no, she's not in this group chat. So that was like the first round of rumors, was that he found out that she was involved with Vince, who everybody knows Vince, especially if you went to UCSD, and he snapped. They're like, that makes sense, which no, it doesn't. None of this makes sense, and none of it is true. Then the whole situation goes to, oh, she was a gold digger. Ivy was a gold digger. She was having an affair. She had an affair with her Chinese manager at Amazon, and that's why she was up for a promotion.
Oh my
which, by
God,
the
the
way,
misogyny.
is also categorically false. Her manager was not even Chinese. He was an Indian man. So, like, none of this story even makes sense. None of it is factually accurate. There's no evidence to back it up. There's so many holes in every story. It's factually incorrect. But they're saying that she was having an affair with her manager at Amazon. That's why he found out. She had to move to Google. And then she started having an affair with a higher up at Google and was trying to get a
course.
role at the Switzerland Google office
Right.
because that's where that higher up was going to be.
Right.
None of this has any evidence. None of it. I just don't know how
Just
she is
misogyny.
equally as accomplished, but people are like, she was using him as a stepping stone. For what? For what? A stepping stone
Abuse?
to what? Then a lot of people started arguing that maybe Ivy was aggressive and abusive first, and Tony just snapped after being berated. And a lot of this comes from the fact that this is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And I think it's a very small group of people, but when the news starts circulating, a lot of Chinese netizens are trying to come up with this theory. And they settle on the idea that Tony is from northern China and Ivy is from southern China. What the hell does that mean, right? So there's a stereotype that men and women from northern China are typically taller. So they're like, Tony's tall. He must be from northern China. And then she's from southern China, and women from southern China, some people say, are more aggressive in relationships. This whole generalization is very goofy, other than the fact that, okay, like one person is tall. Like none of this makes sense. It's akin to saying, oh, the perpetrator was probably from New York City because they're a lot meaner and a lot more confrontational than maybe somewhere like Kentucky. It's like, well, everybody can be mean. That has nothing to do with it. It's dumb. But people are saying, oh, well, he's from northern China. She's from southern China. Maybe she was super abusive. And then that gets turned on its head. This already dumb argument becomes even dumber because it's revealed that Ivy is the one from northern China and Tony is the one from Sichuan, which is like the middle southern part of China. But then they're like, wait, he's from Sichuan, China? So there's almost like a meme in China where men from Sichuan, China, in the most endearing way, like it's seen as a very positive thing, they uplift their wives a lot. And there's lots of skits of how they're so scared of their wives and they do a lot of the cooking and cleaning at home. And so people are like, oh, well, he's from Sichuan, China, which means that he probably was uplifting Ivy and maybe she was super domineering and super aggressive and he collapsed under her pressure and he lashed out.
Okay.
Victim blaming is
Like,
so
yeah, the
vile.
victim blaming.
Yeah, and everyone that
misogyny is
knows
crazy.
Ivy is coming forward and is like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's all lies. Like, it's just so dumb. So while awaiting trial, it appears that Tony has gained quite a bit of weight, which people are really annoyed by. It just looks like and this might not be true, but I think there is this feeling of like, look at him living comfortably while after what he's done. Like it just isn't sitting right with a lot of people. He has high paid attorneys representing him. And there hasn't been a lot of press on this case, at least not in the United States, but there has been a lot of coverage on Chinese social media, on Chinese news networks, Chinese forums, and that's why we utilized our Chinese researchers, even though this is a case that's taking place in the US. And it seems that her parents couldn't make it to the preliminary hearing. I don't know if they've been able to make it since before the trial. I don't know how that's going to work. I can't imagine that the US won't give them a visa for the trial itself, but you never know with the climate these days.
Exactly.
It did take 2 years to sell their house, but it was not devalued by much. It sold for around $2 million again. And Ivy's family has written in Chinese social media, Ivy has left us forever. Her beauty and kindness were frozen at the age of 27. We're heartbroken over the loss of our beloved daughter. With nowhere to express our grief, through this platform we wish to preserve a peaceful space for her, undisturbed and unjudged. May she protect herself in heaven, no longer sad and far from violence. A lot of people say the fact that people are victim blaming is just atrocious, but Ivy was
But it's
a
not
normal.
surprising.
I mean, it's crazy that I think it's crazy victim blaming in any situation, but even more so with Ivy because a lot of netizens are saying this makes everybody even more depressed because Ivy did everything right. They say Ivy was a normal girl with a healthy sense of right and wrong. She dated seriously. She got married. When she discovered his infidelity, she tried to set boundaries. And when she realized things couldn't be fixed, she planned to leave. Like, all of these things are the right choices for a girl, a woman. A lot of people have then come to the conclusion in China, and a lot of people have been agreeing with the sentiment of marriage is not a necessity. People are trying to give tips to other women saying, if you do marry someone who loves you. Like, we need to stop pressuring women to get married because they hit a certain age. Because if you pressure a man who doesn't love you into marriage, even if you do get married, you never know what's going to happen. Not that Ivy pressured, but I think it's just the climate in China or a lot of places where as you get older, a lot of people are like, why are you not married? You're almost 35, you're 40, you're 30. But what are your thoughts on this case? Have you heard about it? When the trial happens, when and if the trial happens, we're going to cover it. But let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? Stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.
Very, 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 very sad. Very disappointing. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. Do I want to watch another? Maybe not. Let's see. Ooh. I don't remember if I saw that one. I don't think I did. I don't know. Cause I want to watch I don't want to watch a long video, which is why I'm on this channel. Like, there's a few one that I'm not sure if I saw. Damn, this one is fucking popular. God damn. Okay, wait. This one is only 1 hour. This one is... Oh, I love the fact that they're short. Okay, wait. Let me see if I saw that one, because I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I am still trying to perfect the freaking... Well, I haven't done the lashes and the eyeliner, and I feel like I should probably do that soon. Because right now I feel like I look unfinished.
Kind of having a crash out week. I don't really know how to explain it. Everything is making me spiral this week. Clearly, there's serious stuff that makes me spiral, and that stuff has been consistently getting worser and worser. Look online, you know what's going on in the world. But then on top of that, I'm like in the depths of my spiral, and I get hit with a full face rash. I'm having an extreme allergic reaction all across my face. My face is flaking off like my scalp in the depths of December, where it's just dandruff town, but now it's on my face. It's an allergic reaction. If you put my face in front of a bowl, I could probably make you the world's most unsanitary bowl of cereal. and then I get this full face allergic reaction. I'm feeling a little insecure about myself. Tell me why I got on TikTok. I happened upon a video that I should not be in this conversation. If there is a conversation on TikTok about me, I shouldn't be in the room. And then, you know, it was a really nice video, but the top search that I got was like, why didn't Stephanie Sue get any work done? It wasn't, did Stephanie Sue get work done? Because then it's like, oh, we don't know. We don't know. She looks like she might have gotten work done. It was, why did she choose not to? Like, what was the reasoning behind the decision? Because I disagree with the decision. And then I sent it to my husband. I was having a spiraling moment. I call my sister because I'm like, you know what, sister? Show me your crotch goblins. Sometimes they make me feel better. Let me see their cute little faces. The younger one gets on FaceTime and goes, Momo, you look funny. And I said, bitch. And then I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what it is? It's because I haven't put Judan to rest. I haven't put this story of Judan to rest. I need to tell you about the rest of Judan so that I can move on with my life and I can start a new different kind of spiral. Hopefully this one spirals upwards, but I don't know. There's like another fucking blizzard coming. I don't know, okay? I'm going through it. So we're talking about Judan. This is part 2. Judan.
Wait, aren't we? That's the same thumbnail. What? Ah! I'm so confused. Did we saw it? Wait, is that the one that I think it is?
Agua agua.
I've never known a celebrity that got canceled for something dumber than this case that happened in China. And I don't say dumb because it's like, oh, why are we canceling her for this? This is so dumb. Are we sure we're not just sexist? Are we sure we're not just little haters? No, I mean dumb as in like, what is wrong with this celebrity? Why are they so dumb? Like, I don't understand. I have never. And I do need to preface this with something that there is a rare medical condition for face blindness, and 1 in 50 people are actually born with it. You are face blind. It's a cognitive disorder in which people are unable to recognize faces, sometimes even including their own. So this is not for you at home who you probably relate to me where you're like,
Wait, but sometimes I forget what people look like.
no. You look in the mirror and you're like, who the is this bitch? Like, that's who I'm talking about, okay?
What?
And people will, with face blindness, they're very savvy, they're very smart. So they'll use other things such as voice, shapes, other contours in the face to remember. I think it's like adding up of all the features that they can't remember.
Yeah, but 1 in 50 sounds kind of crazy.
Of a lot, yeah.
Wow.
So that means you must have run into a bunch of people that are face blind and they have no idea what your face looks. I hope I'm hotter in their mind then. I hope that I'm like really cute. No, but you know what I mean. And I just need to preface that this person that I'm about to tell you about does not have this condition. And I think that she would have let us know if she did have this condition. And she probably shouldn't have this job if she has this condition. So let me tell you what's been going on in China recently. There has been this woman, this female host that has been going viral. Her name is Ju Dan.
That's pretty good.
Thank you so much. I've been practicing because how ironic would it be? Anyway, we're gonna get there. So Judan is hosting the Cosmo Glam Night. It's like a popular annual fashion entertainment event hosted by Cosmopolitan magazine in China. They bring in all the top celebrities, influencers, fashion icons, and it's like an award party. What are they celebrating? It doesn't matter, okay? Everybody's hot, everybody looks attractive, everybody looks good, everybody's winning an award. It's a fun time. It's just like a hot people night. So she is the host of Cosmo Glam Night. And she starts, well, first, in the beginning of the night, she starts trending on social media because there is a clearly noticeable face color difference between her face and her neck. Is it that she's wearing too much sunscreen under her foundation and then when they flash the cameras on the paparazzi night, whatever, it's too bright? I don't know. However, not the point. That's when she first starts going viral. And you could just tell this Cosmo Glam Night was not going to be a good night. Some shit was going to go down because that was the first thing to go viral. She's the host. So you would think on Glam Night, her glam would be on point, but it wasn't. And now she brings up all the people onto the stage, all the celebrities. These are A-list celebrities who had just won awards. A-list. That's like bringing up, I don't know, whoever list of celebrities that we love that are not in the files, okay? A-list celebrities onto the stage and just looking at their faces, and they all look different. They all have a different aura. They're all known for different things. Everyone in the whole nation knows them. So she gets up on the stage and she turns to the first, like all the celebrities are lined up on the stage. And she's gonna go one by one and ask them about their award, ask them about their lives, things of that nature. And the first one is, see, it's a testament. But you know what? She speaks fluent Chinese, okay? I don't.
Of course.
So Jiang Lina.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, so she goes to Jiang Lina. And the moment that she opened, the host, Judan, opens her mouth, she goes, Zhao, Zhang, Lena. I'm sorry, Lena. Okay, sorry. So she misses her last name wrong. Completely wrong. So it's like Zhao, Ding, very different, okay?
好，接下来是我们的张丽娜，对不起哦，丽娜，对不起。
So then she's reading from a cue card. And she still got her last name wrong. So then people are like, wait, maybe she can't read. Because you know how in America there was like a whole thing where people had conspiracy theories that certain celebrities couldn't read.
Yeah, me too.
Because maybe they got into like, I don't know, the industry too young. And then, I don't know, some of them look suspicious when they're reading cue cards. So there was like a whole thing where everyone's like, wait. But also maybe she's dyslexic, okay? So that was like the first little mistake of the night. But then she tries to make it up. Hello, everyone, you know? Okay, so Jiang Lina, please tell us about your life. Lina, what is your dream? And Lena is a good sport. She says, actually, my first dream is my current dream, which is to be a professional model. But before I achieved that, I actually became a mother. So my second dream is actually to return to my first dream, which is going back to becoming a model. Sticking to it from start to finish and embarking again on something is really tough. We give you your full support and encouragement. So good luck, yes. So it's okay, it's a little awkward, but people are like, it's fine. Then she moves on to the next celebrity. Dili Rema.
迪丽热巴，
Oh,
Yeah. And so that...
wait, what did she say?
She said Dili Rema, the next celebrity, right? But guess what?
Yoruba, you mean?
No, she says Dili Rema.
Like she messed up her name?
Yeah. So
Oh,
it's not
dang.
even her name, but also it's not her.
Oh.
So then that celebrity, a female celebrity goes, I'm Naja.
迪丽热巴，娜扎，对不起。
She's like, I'm Naja. And she's like, oh, Naja, sorry.
That's crazy.
Right? But then for some reason, so she's like, Tebuchi, I guess, because that's sorry in Chinese. So she's like, Tebuchi. And then for some reason, she turns around, looks at a camera, and goes, sorry. In English.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that clip.
对不起，sorry，娜扎。
Which was just crazy. This is the moment.
How do you describe that energy?
Like, kind of fucking mean. Like, kind of, like, sorry, not sorry. Like, why?
Sorry，
Sorry. Damn. It's like that energy, okay? So she gets the last name of the first person wrong, first celebrity wrong. Then she gets completely, not only does she mispronounce the name of the person she thinks she is, that's not even her, okay? And then she just turns around and says, sorry. No one knows what to do. It's just really uncomfortable. It's also like, let's say Jane is in front of you, but you call her Jessica, but her name is fucking Jessica. But also she's not Jessica, she's Jane. So it's like, what is fucking happening right now? But Nadja is like, it's okay. But I probably would have wanted to be a magazine editor if I wasn't in this field because I want to share the beauty and fashion that I appreciate with everyone. But yes, my name is Nadja. I'm so sorry. I have too many faces of celebrities today and I have to talk to every one of them. My brain is just, I'm so sorry, Nadja. I love you and I sincerely apologize.
真的脑子非常抱歉，娜扎，我爱你，sorry，我向你诚挚的道歉，对不起。
The rest of the celebrities
Sorry.
standing on the stage are looking a little like, oh shit. Before she gets to the next celebrity, you can see each one of them starting to like get a little bit stressed out because, you know,
I think at this point, she should just continue calling all of them.
Yeah.
Because then that's a bit,
Commit
right?
to it.
yes. No, but she does.
Oh,
okay.
But not as a bit. You're
Damn.
gonna die. So then she gets to the next celebrity, which is Zhao Dongyu. And Zhu Dan looks at her, waits a few moments of silence, and then is like, tell us about yourself, Dongyu.
你自己说吧，冬雨。
So she's like,
Wait, what's happening?
She's like thinking about the next celebrity's name. She gets it right. But the entire time, the celebrity is trying so hard not to laugh because it's like really awkward silence. Why even say their name? Just
Yeah.
say, okay, what about you, right? Then maybe
Yeah.
the celebrity being gracious
Wait,
would say,
have you-
hi, everyone.
Have you ever blanked out on someone's name before?
Yes.
Bro, it's so
It's so difficult.
like embarrassing.
I'm so bad with names.
Yeah.
And I think my anxiety makes me worse with names.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type where if I'm doing like
I'm
a
also terrible
serious
with
form for the government or
Yeah.
medical form, I triple check my own name. I go,
yeah.
that is me, right?
Yeah,
That's my
same.
birthday, right?
It's awkward, yeah.
No, it's
like even a Zoom
uncomfortable.
call, like I review everyone's name over and over. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay. All right.
Me too.
Okay.
But then also, have you seen that TikTok that's like when you meet someone who just read How to Win Friends and Influence People? That's like, so tell me about that, Stephanie. Oh, that's great, Stephanie. I love that, Stephanie. I love that for you, Stephanie. So, Stephanie, tell me about this coffee shop that you went to, Stephanie. How do you like the coffee, Stephanie? What does it say on the coffee, Stephanie? It says like the book says apparently people like you more when you say their name to them. Like they love the sound of their own name. So like all these dudes will be going on dates like, oh yeah, Jessica? And you're like, what the f-? So, you know, Dongyu is trying her best not to laugh. So much so that she doesn't remember the question because there's so much going on. Like no one even cares about the question at this point. It's so tense, it's so awkward. So she just says, I think I can't really think of anything right now. Maybe I should go home and reflect and think about it, which is a good joke. But then the next celebrity is Zhao Bichang.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, who starts cackling. But instead of calling Zhao Bichang, Zhu Dan goes up to Zhou Bichang and says, Chao Bichang.
What?
How do you say ugly?
丑比唱.
Yeah, she goes, so Cho Bichang, tell me about what your dream is. So Cho apparently in Mandarin means ugly. So she goes up to her and it's like basically saying, hey, ugly Stephanie, tell me about your dream in life.
Oh my god. What is happening?
And so everyone's like, oh my god, it's getting worse. And then finally, it's Dili Reba, who she called a different person Dili Rema, which is not Dili Reba's name, right? And so you would think that after her interaction with Naja, she would remember, oh, that's Naja, and this is Dili Reba. Not Dili Rema, but Dili Reba, right? She goes up to her and she goes, Naja, what do you want to say?
You're kidding me
So
right now.
everyone immediately...
Wait, is this real?
Yes, everyone turns to Judan, look at the host.
So like this role of celebrity, she calls everyone except one person.
But
the
that
wrong
one
name.
person, she was like silent for a second.
那让你来吧。
You just spoke to Naja less than 5 minutes ago and you gave her a whole apology in public and now suddenly there is another Naja.
This gotta be.
They don't even look alike, okay? They literally do not look alike. None of these celebrities look alike, so everyone is just confused. And then after Dili Reba, she doesn't even correct her, okay? She's just like, I probably would have liked to be a pastry chef, right? And then Zudan gives a closing speech and adds, again, I want to apologize to Naja. As a host, this means that I still have room for improvement. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And thank you, Naja, for your smile.
The last person? Huh?
We don't know who she's referring to because we don't know if she means the first person who she called Dili Rema or if she's referring to Dili Reba who she called Naja. We don't know who she's referring to, but it's the fact that she mispronounced almost every single person's name, but she was completely unaware of it and only apologized to Naja. We don't know which Naja she's talking about because to her, everybody is Naja. So all the, the segment obviously goes viral in China and all the comments start saying, it's okay, Zugan. So they're getting her name wrong. Okay, because her name is Zudan.
Zugan.
Also, I think it means pig liver, right?
Jugan, yes. Oh my god, that's crazy.
So they're like, it's okay, Jugan. Okay. But then these celebrities are not the only victims.
They don't have the prompters?
She has cue cards. She has cue cards. There was one time where she's on stage with the winner and the winner's name is on the giant LED screen behind them and she still gets it wrong.
Like she doesn't read it or she...
We don't know. We don't know what's going on.
Is this
Genuinely.
intentional?
I don't think so because she gets very offended when you call her out on it. So I don't think it's intentional. So then there was another moment where there, Yuna from 소녀시대, Girls' Generation. Okay, so she goes to an event in China and they call her Yuner.
Yunar? Oh, Yunar.
I think so, right? But then she calls a different Chinese celebrity Yuna's name. So everyone's like, okay, now you're getting everyone's name wrong. You're getting their nationalities wrong. You're getting everything wrong. Like, it doesn't even make sense what's going on right now. And then also the LED screen has names and you won't even say it. And every single time, she just has to do Weibo apologies. She says, I have no excuse at all. Today, I sincerely apologize to Nada, Diliraba, Linyun, Imuna. Please forgive my carelessness. As a professional host, this is absolutely unacceptable. I promise it won't happen again. I hope this doesn't affect everyone's mood. 30 minutes later, she posts again. I feel so depressed and frustrated. Sigh. My heart is still racing. It feels terrible to have made such a mistake. It was so wrong of me. There's no reason for it. I deserve a beating. And then it's like a black and white photo of her pondering on a chair.
Jesus.
Like she was like, honey, take this picture of me. And it's like her stressed out on a chair. And then a little while later, she posts a third time saying, I've been quiet for a really long time, but
Jesus.
I still don't want to fall asleep feeling frustrated. It was a mistake and I have to face my mistakes. I'll strive for perfection in the next hosting gig and everyone will witness it. P.S. A friend of mine comforted me saying, it's okay. Things will get better when your baby is 3 years old. And I laughed. Okay, so the reason that she mentions her child was at the time her child was 2 years old. And there's like a Chinese saying where for 3 years, a lot of mothers will lose their memory.
Oh, the first 3 years?
Yes, because you're literally
Yeah, sleep deprived.
dying. Okay, you're sleep deprived, you're overworked, you're anxious, you're stressed, your hormones are going through the roof, you're like fighting nature's battles. So
Yeah.
for 3 years, it's like, okay, we should give mothers grace for having, I don't know if it's a good thing to call it that, but like I guess pregnancy brain, right? But so she was like, once my kid is 3 years old, I'll be better. So her child was 2 years old.
Okay.
And then later she attends another event and she's like, let me tell you guys about what happened, right? So basically, I'm a Leo.
She's talking about this on
Yeah.
another talk show.
And she's like, so basically what happened was, I'm a Leo. And Leos don't allow themselves to make mistakes, especially such a basic one. So I was very unhappy and frustrated, which everyone is like, why are we talking about you? Like, you should be apologizing to the celebrities. And then she's like, but then when I go to bed and I see my daughter laying next to me, I feel like I need to forgive myself because every day is difficult and correcting mistakes make you better for the next time. So at this point, everyone in the whole entertainment industry is aware of these incidents. And it's not even over yet because she keeps hosting more events and she just keeps butchering everybody. These names. And it's annoying because every time she does it, all the celebrities that she's butchering their names, they're the ones that have to do PR for her.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, because afterwards, you know, like interviewers will ask them about what just happened, and then they all have to be like, oh, no, it's okay. Like, when I get nervous, I do the same thing. Like, they're so gracious. And then Judan is over on Weibo being like, I sincerely apologize. And again, I think mistakes are fine, but she is a professional host. It's like bare minimum to get the names of the celebrities right.
Yeah.
Is it a lack of research? Is it a lack of prep ahead of time? I don't know what it is. And it seems like it's recent. So a lot of people were saying, okay, well, maybe it was like a medical thing. We don't know. Like, let's not judge. I don't know. That's what I was thinking. Turns out she's just kind of crazy. I don't know what's going on. And all the comments each time are just trolls. They're not canceling her hard yet. They're mainly making fun of her. So her name is Judan, but they would say, don't worry about it. I support you. We're not haters, Jordan. Okay. Is Judan considering resigning, but she just doesn't know how? Like, what's going on?
Damn.
From now on, you should change your name to Junao, which means pig brain.
Damn.
So everybody...
She's quiet quitting.
Yes. But then what pissed people off is like, these are pretty funny hate comments. They're not even hate comments.
Yeah,
It's like,
internet's
yeah,
meaning her, yeah.
they're not even mean. Like, there are some really mean hate comments out there. These are not that. She's quietly deleting all of these troll comments. She's sitting there deleting every single one of them, to the point where netizens are like, are you serious? You're that sensitive? You made the mistake, but you're gonna be the sensitive one because we're calling you Jordan as fun? Like, what's happening right now? You would think that these comments wake her up and she gets her shit together, but she doesn't, because 1 month later, she does it all over again. And there's this one clip of her sitting next to Jackson Wang, and she calls a different celebrity next on the other side of Jackson Wang the wrong name. And Jackson Wang flips his head at her and looks at her like, what the fuck? What are you saying? Yeah, he's like, are you serious right now? Like, his face looks like, no, you're joking, you're kidding, okay? At this point, people are done. They're like, once is okay, twice is barely acceptable. This is happening like every other event. It's completely unprofessional. It shows a lack of respect for the guests. Like, we can't keep doing this. Like, she's got to quit the hosting industry. She's got to do something else.
She gotta go.
And she's been a host for a really long time. She was the host of China's X Factor. She was like the host of some crazy big competitions. At one point, 2 of the biggest stations in China, they were fighting over her. Just fighting over trying to get the next contract for her. And she had multiple points in her career where she was canceled for being unprofessional. So, for example, she used to be the host of Zhejiang TV.
浙江电视
And then she got poached by Hunan TV.
2 of the biggest entertainment stations.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then she goes on Hunan TV, and then she's like, okay, well, if you want to cast your vote or something like that, or like you want to give your input, call this number. And she calls out the old former employer's number. So it was a whole scandal. And then she got sidelined from the hosting industry. So she starts focusing on acting. She leads a few roles. She did okay. She was in a C-drama called OBGYNs. About exactly what you think it is about, okay? It did okay. And then she was in another role. It also did okay. But then she really got back into hosting for the Cosmo Glam Night.
Oh.
And then we know exactly how that went with the sorry.
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 Oh, and it's crazy because there's these apps in China where you can download it. And it's like a dictionary app, right? But you can also hear it. You can hear the word, if let's say it's sorry, then you can hear it in an American accent, you can hear it in a British accent, and then you can hear it in global, and then you can hear it, I believe, in like a Chinese accent. And I don't mean Chinese accent as in like people in China who are learning English will input their own voice. So it sounds like a more like, okay, this is a person learning English. It's easier than someone going, sorry, you know? That's like hard because you're like, sorry, right? You're trying to... And so all of that was filled with sorry.
Sorry. Sorry.
Sorry.
That was like the global voice section of everybody saying sorry. It becomes a giant meme. It was like a trending... Sorry was a trending word in China for a very long time because of Judan.
Dang.
Sorry was trendy.
Yeah. And
Of all
she
the words that could go
becomes
viral.
extremely sensitive to the word sorry. Judan, after all of this, she decides that she's going to get into reality shows because these hosting gigs are not working out for her. Every time she hosts a thing, she keeps saying, I'm going to show you guys my perfection because I'm a Leo. And then she does the hosting gig, and then she immediately on Weibo, I sincerely apologize. Okay, and she's like, going to make sure I type these names correctly this time. And it becomes a whole thing. So they're like, we can't do this anymore. She ends up taking a lot of reality show gigs. She's on this one reality show where all the celebrities are sitting at the table, and there's another female celebrity who is reaching behind her to grab her coffee, and she's like, oh, sorry.
Oh.
Just politely says sorry. And it's like a normal thing. It's like, sorry, right? Even in Korean, we call it, oh my God. In Korean, we call it like sori. Okay? So like, she's just saying, it's not like a weird, she's not like, sorry. She's just like, oh, sorry, right? And at that moment, Judan is eating a chicken wing. She freezes. And the second she hears the English word sorry, her face drops. She whips around in disbelief as if someone had just said the most offensive thing to her face. And she's looking at the, you just said sorry to me while you were behind me. Did you ever consider how that might affect me? Every single sorry is like opening up my wounds again. And so I thought she was like doing a bit. I thought she was trying to be funny, right? Even though it's not funny, like maybe she was doing a bit. No, and netizens start going crazy. Did Judan get the copyright for the term sorry? For the English word sorry? Why should someone else be responsible for your mistakes? Just because of what happened to her, so others can't use a word in English
Which is
called
also
sorry?
apologizing.
Yeah, like this doesn't even make sense. How is the word traumatic for you? Some netizens are just getting so annoyed with her. But this was like a clip that was trending on Douyin. So everyone was like, wait, the whole episode is not out yet. So we should not judge her until the whole episode is out. Because what if it's exactly like what I was saying? Where she turns out and is like, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Joking. Like, you don't know, right? The show is produced by Mango TV. And they have a reputation for sometimes editing stuff into looking a little bit crazy to boost viewers. So they watch the entire episode. They were like, oh, it was actually worse. Okay. That's actually so much worse. So then she does a little confessional where, you know, it's like sitting in front of the producers. And she goes, yeah, when she first said sorry to me, I was like, huh? Did she just say sorry? But my second reaction was like, it's fine. You know, I felt like I had grown up in that moment.
Wow. And she's older, right? She's not like...
Yeah.
She's
20.
middle-aged, yeah.
Right.
She's definitely too old for this shit,
Yeah.
okay? So then all the other celebrities, I don't know what it is, they're like applauding her. They're like, wow, you're like moving on. Finally, you're letting go of this. And she's like, yeah, because, you know, in the past, it would have been really sensitive about it, wondering like, are you making fun of me saying sorry on purpose? Like where I can hear it. And the first reaction, the instinct is like, she just said sorry. But then the next second, I'm like, they probably don't even mean it that way. Netizens just found the whole thing very awkward, very unbearable. People are like, the long original version is even more awkward than the short little clip that we saw.
Like-
They're like, the difference before and after editing is actually worse when you watch the original clip. People are like, if you actually let go of this whole situation, which like, I don't even think that you have rights to be upset about the situation of someone using the word sorry, you wouldn't even say anything. Like, you wouldn't even bring it up. Netizens were genuinely baffled at how sensitive she is being about this entire thing. Honestly, she didn't even need to react. When the sorry incident first happened, people were just having fun with it. They were upset. I mean, I will say that there were probably some diehard fans of the celebrities who were super, super upset and like wanted her to, I don't know, choke on a bagel. But like most people were just like, this is so unprofessional. Like, please go educate yourself. Go read your cue cards a little bit harder or something. But nobody was wanting her career to tank. Nobody wanted her to lose her job. But the more variety shows go on, people are like, maybe she is a really bad person. Maybe we don't even like her because she's bad at messing people's names up. Like, we don't know what it is. She just seems like an exhausting person to be around. You know Mai from the Stand By
Remember
Me
Mai?
divorce show. People say she gives my energy. Like
Damn.
just being around her is like an energy vampire where, you know, some people can be annoying. You might even put me in that category. Perhaps I'm annoying, right? But there are some people, it's like the only word is exhausting. You stand next to them and you're exhausted. It's not because they nonstop yap. It's like, oh my God, they're nonstop nagging, complaining, being hyper. Oh my goodness, like, let's catch a break for a second. That is Judan. Judan and her husband were on this show called Viva la Romance. And so it's like a celebrity couple show, right? And so she's talking to her husband in the car, and obviously it's GoPro'd up while they're driving, and there's like every angle. And she turns to her husband and she goes, what's that guy's name again?
What's that guy's name
A
again?
different couple that they had met. She's like, what's that guy's name again? Right? And again, it's like not a big deal. You're just bad at names, which like, I don't know why you're a celebrity host.
I'm
But
terrible
maybe
at
that's why
names,
you're
so I
not
get
a
it.
celebrity host anymore. But she's like, what's that guy's name again? Xiao Xiao. Why do I keep wanting to call him Xuan Xuan? It's okay. People will forgive you for not remembering.
你呢？还叫啥？
潇潇，
我老想叫轩轩。
没事，大家会原谅你记不住。
Like when he said this, it was very genuine of like, it's okay. Like if you don't forget, they're not going to be upset with you. They're going to forgive you even if you call them by the wrong name. It's fine. Judan is wearing sunglasses in this scene, and you can tell she whips her head at him. If her eyeballs, if her retinas could just shoot out lasers, he would have been incinerated.
God damn.
And she turns to him and says, apologize.
For what?
Sorry.
That's what all the netizens wanted him to say. They wanted him to turn around and go, sorry. But instead, she goes, there are some things that other people can say, but you cannot say.
我以为道歉。有些话别人能说，就你不能。
What can he not say?
Like he can't make fun of her for, I guess she thought he was making fun of her for her previous events of,
Oh.
but he wasn't. He genuinely wasn't. Like, read the room, girly pop,
What?
read the car. He was
Damn,
not.
girl.
And so he just says, I'm sorry that I made you feel that I disrespected you. I apologize. You shouldn't torture yourself with things like this. You can't joke about this. You know I care about this a lot, which is why I'm secretly asking you so you can help me remember his name. But her husband is like, what do you mean ask me secretly? I mean, I can just tell the producers to edit this out later. Or like, what am I supposed to do? Whisper to you?
No, girl.
I can tell the
That's not how
producers
relationship
to edit this
works.
out.
No,
And
man.
like the producers are like, keep it in.
100% we're editing it out.
Don't you worry.
Put it on Douyin right now.
Do the trailer. Put this in the trailer.
Leak it.
He's like, well, if you wanted to do it secretly, then you should do it secretly. But right now, like, we're all mic'd up and there's cameras everywhere. I don't think this is acting secretly. Whatever you're doing is being exposed to everyone. It's not just the two of us. I mean, yeah, it's the two of us in the car, but just think of it as like we're standing in front of 100 people right now, watching on a screen. I'm just saying. Okay, her husband is not being mean. Like, in this moment, I think if he had a tiny bit of sass, I wouldn't even have been mad. I would have been like, okay, I probably would have said it with a little bit more like,
He's like, hey, whatever you're about to say next, just remember there's 100 people in front of us right now.
honey, please,
We're
remember.
live. We're live.
So then this clip goes viral, and all the comments are like, her husband should have just said sorry. Others are saying, guys, her husband literally cannot apologize. That word is banned in their house. He doesn't even dare apologizing.
Damn.
Sometimes there are those moments, you know, when you have to put some earbuds in and open up a private tab in peace and quiet when everybody else in the house is dead asleep to watch Chinaverse dramas on repeat. What did you think I was gonna say? Get your mind out of the gutter. We are too old for this. Lock in. Okay, because let me tell you, that's what I was doing for a hot second until I realized that pirating international TV was just unnecessary and probably illegal, and I probably shouldn't be saying this online, and it was putting my electronics at risk. Surfshark VPN is the solution. Surfshark is a fast and easy to use VPN that is jam-packed with features that go way beyond the basics, like a web content blocker that can block access to certain sites and an email scan checker that will let you know if an email is a scam or a phishing attempt. Surfshark is easy to install and run on unlimited devices on a single subscription. Plus, they have a strict no logs policy, which means that they don't keep your data. Surfshark has reached the coverage of 100 countries, and they are the only VPN to do so. Without Surfshark, how else would I be able to watch and keep you guys updated on when a man falls in love with a woman and what they do in the Chinese dramas? Go to surfshark.com/mots and use code MOTS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Go to surfshark.com/mots and use code MOTS at checkout to get 4 extra months Surfshark VPN. But a lot of people were upset because, I mean, Judan is a celebrity at the end of the day. Then they're just commenting, Judan, I'm telling you seriously, shut the fuck up. Like, everybody's lives are a mess. Have you seen the economy? We don't have time to keep dwelling on this tiny little incident of yours. Just let it go. We're here for entertainment. Everybody has moved on. Nobody has time. Just let it go. You're weird. You're so weird for making this your whole personality. On other shows, Judan openly admits that the entire name incident became trauma for her. It was like psychological trauma. She said, I never imagined that one day my career would end because I said people's names wrong. And again, it's like very woe is me.
Yeah.
Because like I'm sure there was trauma getting
it's not that
canceled.
deep.
But like
Dang.
she could have phrased it as like, I really messed up and I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot from it. But like she's like, for a long time, people were afraid of offending me. So in 2024, my husband and I joined the show called Viva La Romance. And at the beginning, I couldn't remember other people's names. So I asked my husband to remind me, and he said, everyone will forgive you. He didn't mean harm, but at that moment, I just felt hurt. Like I felt like all that trauma had been trapped in my heart for years. And then she says, and then came my really close friend, Shi Meng Yao. Oh yeah, okay, so she's the Victoria's Secret model.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
her. I love her. Okay,
Oh, the
she's
one that
the
fell?
one. I'm just gonna say it because it's relevant to this. She is like the hot supermodel, gorgeous. She fell one time, And the way she fell was beautiful. Genuinely, I thought it was poetic. Like if you just had a poetic song, it's like an angel falling, but then getting back up, right? But she brings it up, Judan. She's like, so then I was talking to my dear friend, supermodel, Ximeng Yang. And at the time, I was terrified to bring up the topic with her because I assumed she felt fear around the topic. Which, like, if people feel fear around talking to you about your mistakes, maybe you're kind of scary. But she says that the model told her, you know, I fell, but I still had to get up. And in that moment, I finally let go. I realized that sometimes it's not just a matter of being brave enough. Stepping through that door wasn't as hard as I thought because as it turns out, the door was never locked to begin with. First of all, nobody knows what the she's talking about, okay? And second of all, people are actually really upset with her for bringing up the supermodel's fall on the Victoria's Secret runway. That was years ago, and that was very different. So Judan was a repeated mistake that she chose to commit over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Mingxi, when she felt, people call her Mingxi. I think that's her stage name. That was like her. Okay, but Mingxi, when she fell, she was cyberbullied by a lot of people. So first of all, a lot of people in America were making fun of her. And then a lot of people in China were saying that she was representing China and she fell. And that caused her to be, I'm going to cry. I'm so annoyed. But that caused her to be cyberbullied. Like, it was bad. It's crazy because I think I was reading somewhere those wings weigh like 80 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're very heavy.
Really?
Yeah, I think her wings were like 80 pounds. She's probably 80 pounds herself.
Yeah.
It's just like impossible. And like someone fell. Is it really a reason to bully someone? Like if anyone's having the worst time after falling, it's her.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are acting like she did something to them. Anyway, to bring that up was very unprofessional. People said that she did it on purpose to be like, well, don't focus on my mistakes. Remember her viral mistake? Let's point the attention there. Mingxi was also on the same show, Viva la Romance, with her husband. Her husband is like a billionaire. Oh yeah, they run Macau. They like ran all the casinos in Macau, which is like Vegas. They were
You should do an episode on them.
yeah, they're actually really cute because I was
They're
seeing glimpses of
interesting.
them. Yeah, they were really cute. And he's a super Nepo baby, but he seems really intelligent.
Apparently, he's a genius.
Yeah, he's
like
not-
certified genius.
He's not giving like Jackie. He's giving like more chill, but like more
one
serious, but very
Sutong.
smart. And she's very smart. It seems like they make a good couple.
Honey, we gotta do an episode
Yeah.
on Water Bro. Water Bro.
No, I'm not doing Water
Okay,
Bro.
guys, please let me know if you guys want an episode
Well,
on
now I
Stephanie
wanna know
cover
about
Water
Water
Bro.
Bro.
So let me give you the lore.
Oh my
like,
God.
In like 10 seconds.
Guys, hold on. I'm so sorry. I had to hear about Water Bro for like 2 years straight, I think.
No,
I
no,
genuinely,
no, no,
at
no.
one point, I was like, do you love Water Bro? No, okay, continue.
So in China, there's these genius competition shows. Literally just like geniuses.
Yeah.
They compete with each other. When I say genius, I'm talking about they looking at 100 peach tree dish of water. And they need to look at all of them and tell them apart.
But how does that correlate with being a genius?
Yeah.
Because you have to use different methods.
I see.
Find
see.
pattern, and the peach tree dish are exactly the same. The water is the same. Amount of water is the same. He's known for this, called Water Bro, because he will look at 100 dishes and he's like, that's the one. His most infamous one was someone brings a peach dish of water in front of his face. He stares at it. They bring it back into like 100, I don't even know, 100, maybe 500 dishes. And he walks over, just his eyes scanning the lines, and he goes, that one. And that's the one. Like, dude, it's insane. Insane.
He has a cool house.
His house is insane.
Yeah, he has
His
like an
house has like
aquarium.
no, more than an aquarium. His house has a freaking like a like it has everything. It has
wow,
a
that's so
freaking jungle.
cool.
It has like ancient plants. It has like dinosaur bones. There's a whole ecosystem growing inside. It's crazy.
Okay.
Like,
I mean-
the guy's not human.
Okay, I will do Water Bro just for you.
Anyways, the reason
Yeah.
I say him is because apparently this guy, the husband of the model, was on that show as well. So he's also a very, very smart person. I don't know.
Okay, Mr. Model. That's what I'm gonna call him. He's like he's a billionaire, but whatever. He's Mr. Model. He's Mr. Victoria's Secret model to me, okay? Judan is like, yeah, well, she fell down and she told me she had to get up. Whereas all the netizens are so upset by this because they're like, hey, so basically what happened was that she fell down, she got back up, everybody bullied her for years, and she never got dramatic about it, even then. Like, she was cyberbullied, and she never made it her whole personality. You can't remember people's names. just remember them. It's not that hard. How can someone be so sensitive? Like, no one is afraid of offending you, and no one thinks it's that big of a deal. The problem is you. If people are scared to talk to you about it, the problem is you. So all the netizens are just so upset about this. Like, these are the things that they're commenting. People are saying, like, you and her fall aren't even on the same degree. Like, what are you talking about? It's been like 5 or 6 years since the incident. Stop fucking talking about the incident.
Move on. Is what they're
And then
saying.
probably the worst thing happens. On the reality show, people notice that she has a preference for sons over daughters. This is actually a highly sensitive issue in China, or really like anywhere, even in Korea, but also like in China, because when you get pregnant in China, at this point, it's still illegal to get an ultrasound for the sex of your child. Because they're during one-child policy. Anyway, the lore is deep. I don't think I'm smart enough to touch on it, or
Everybody
at least
knows
not right
the
now,
one-child
right?
policy.
But the lore is
Terrible
very deep. There in Korea, it's similar. There's a lot of traditionally sons have been preferred over daughters. Okay, I do think that the tides are changing these days in East Asia, but they were viewed as more beneficial to the family. Better this, better that. Like they get the last name, so the bloodline carries on. Whatever yippee yap you want to talk about. Weird. Some people even developed the mindset that raising daughters was a waste of money because you are essentially spending your resources to raise someone else's future wife and daughter-in-law. So they always think that the daughter marries away into someone else's family.
So you're raising someone else's daughter is the,
Which is
the
like-
old school mindset. Yeah.
Really weird because it's like, where is your daughter going? Like it's the great old age of 2026. If that's how you feel, you should never talk to her again because like, what do you mean, where is she going? It doesn't make sense. And so it came to the point where a lot of families would name their daughters Jiaodi, Pandi, or Laidi. So D means younger brother, like this.
D.
It means younger brother. And then the first character, they would choose things that would symbolize like calling for, hoping for, looking for.
Wow.
So like some daughters' names would literally be, if you go by the Chinese symbols, like hoping for a brother, wishing for a brother.
Wow.
招娣, like, wow.
There
That
was
is some crazy shit. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there was apparently a family that went viral who had 9 daughters, and all of them were named like hoping for a brother, wishing for a son, dreaming of a son, thinking of a son, welcoming a son.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And it's crazy because in Korea, it's like this new thing where it's like everybody wants a son until you have a son and you have a daughter. And then you get a little bit older and your daughter is the one coming over to take care of you and your son never calls you and like doesn't give a shit about you. And then everyone is like, maybe I should have been nicer to my daughter. So it's like, what's happening? I mean, that's not obviously all sons. But like, damn, I just see people getting mad at me all the time. So
But that's a sentiment right now. Yeah.
yeah, in Korea. And like, that's like, oh, did you guys catch in the Singles Inferno? Like one of the guys was like, oh, I'm like a 딸 같은 아들, which is like, I'm a son who behaves like a daughter. So that's like a thing where it's like, you really care for your parents. Because people in Korea associate daughters for having really strong familial bonds and like responsibility for their parents, whereas sons, they're like, oh, 엄마 됐어, 전화하지 마, and then they hang up. And you're like, what? That's what you wanted so bad? So all I'm saying, it's a very touchy subject, and especially if you have a mainstream celebrity presenting that type of values, they're so quick to get canceled. Even a sniff, a whiff of that type of favoritism,
I
people
love
are
it.
sensitive to
Because
it.
like that's like the norm back in the days,
Yeah.
right? And today, the new age, we are so disgusted by that now.
Yeah.
So it's like to see that on TV from a celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
like-
also caused issues. Like, it's very impressive the fact that China still managed to be one of the most populous country in the world, considering the fact that the one-child policy, where mostly girls were being, called, is like, I don't. There's probably an explanation for that. I'm not aware of it, but crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. I look like a rainbow thing. Happy Pride. Now the only thing missing are the false lashes. Yay.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's really, and she's crazy about it. So on Viva La Romance, she talks about how she has an older daughter and she has a younger son. And she says that she pushed her younger son a year ahead in school so that
Okay.
he could be in the same class as her daughter. So her daughter is in a mixed age, like preschool, kindergarten class, mixed age. So that means Could be 2 years old up to like 5 years old, 6 years old, right?
Okay.
And she did that so that the daughter can take care of their son.
Miss Thing.
And she's like, our son is almost 3 years old now. Our daughter has always been the responsible one. She can handle a lot. Since our son is starting kindergarten, it's his sister who brings him in. And we arranged it on purpose this way so that they would be in the same class. It's a mixed age class. So the older sister can look after her younger son at school. This way we can also shorten that crying stage. And Judan says this as like she's so proud of her parenting techniques. As if she learned this, like people are gonna be like, oh my God, you should write a parenting book. But the other couples are looking at her confused to the point where it goes viral, a screenshot of the Nepo baby, Mr. Victoria's Secret model. Okay, screenshot of him goes viral and all of the comments are like, the wealthy heir was surprised. He's just looking like, what? And like, if anyone is probably in that, like, could be in a traditional mindset where it's like all about the heir. Because like, who cares about bloodline unless you're a billionaire? Who cares about legacy unless you're a billionaire, I guess? Like, no one really cares. No one has a legacy, really. Yeah. Like, who even are we? We're just on like a floating ball of mass in the solar system. Who cares? If anybody cares, maybe the evil Murdochs, like, they care. And he looks at her like, what? I've never heard such a thing.
Really?
He's looking at her like, this cannot be real right now.
Yeah.
But she keeps going. She thinks the looks are like of amazement.
They're like, whoa.
They're like, I've never heard such a thing before. And she's like, you know, it's amazing. She feeds him as well.
If the son is 5, the daughter
annoyed.
is a couple years older, right?
The son is like 3. The daughter is like 5.
That's insane.
When she carries
5 is like Sophie's age.
Yeah. It's like when she carries her little brother, it's almost like watching a mother hold her son.
Oh my God.
That's some crazy verbiage.
When that is
Calling a 5-year-old mother?
Yeah. People were so furious. Like, I think all of us have some sort of trauma with this, okay? First of all, mixed age classes do exist, but the thing that bothered people was her intention. It's not like, oh, mixed age classes are good for A, B, C, D, and age, right? She only arranged it so that her daughter could take care of their younger son. And also, isn't the daughter there to learn? Like, she's not supposed to be responsible for caring for her younger brother. She's supposed to be learning. She has her own life. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then also people are saying, like, is the younger brother entering kindergarten with a built-in personal maid? Like, what is happening right now? And even more confusing is people are like, wait, maybe this could make more sense. I don't think it's fair, but it could make more sense if we're talking about like a middle-class family. Where it's like everybody's working, no one has money for childcare, and sometimes the older sibling is in charge of taking care of the little sibling. Is it okay? Probably not, because so many people grow up with so much trauma and it's like parentification, right? But they're saying, you're a celebrity. You have so much resources. Why are you doing this? Like, you're literally choosing to do this.
Clearly, the favoritism is crazy.
Yeah. And she says, you know, the other day I got a video of my daughter taking care of my son. And I actually cried. I kept thinking like, wow, she loves him. Like, it's so good. And so she's like, you know, my daughter will even complain about how my son is pulling her hair. And she just loves our son so much. Sometimes he'll even wake his older sister up by pulling her hair. And, you know, the daughter is so responsible. She'll come up to me and she'll say, Mom, you really need to educate him. He just yanks my hair the whole time. And she's like saying it so lovingly, you know, and she's like, you know, one time he even pulled out 2 pieces of hair and it hurt so bad. But the way she's saying it, it's like she's so proud. She's proud of her son for ripping out her daughter's hair. She looks happy. All the netizens are like, how is she laughing right now? Why is she proud? What's happening?
She's delusional.
And then some people were just blunt in the comments commenting, I don't like you. You're just someone who prefers sons over daughters. You're a woman and this is embarrassing. You should stop coming out on television. It's disgusting. Netizens are not having any of it. She also would show favoritism towards men, her fellow colleagues. Huh? Okay, so
that's okay.
No, it's crazy. Okay, so there's this variety show called Wonderland, and it has approximately 15 celebrities, and they split up into groups of 5, and it's like, okay, so the whole concept is nowadays everybody lives in their apartment in solitude, especially in China where delivery is cheaper. People will get food delivered, they'll get groceries delivered. They don't have social interactions, and even when they go outside, everything is efficient. So you're not sitting there having small talk with random strangers. You barely hang out with your friends. Everything everything is online. So they bring these 15 celebrities, and the whole thing is like they're gonna make a little town. So there's a town center, there's like a town mayoral office, and then the celebrities all live in their own houses. So it's like 5 celebrities a house, and they all have to find ways to make money and find businesses. Like they have to create their own little ecosystem, and it's supposed to be really cute. And they travel to different regions of China and they highlight the culture over there, and it's like experiencing life firsthand. So in Judan's group, she had herself, Sister Jing, which is another female celebrity, and then she has 2 young male celebrities. They're like 25, right? And then she has the youngest one in the group. So Judan is 44, Sister Jing is 53, and the 2 male celebrities are 25 and 28. So they're younger than Sister Jing and Judan, but they're not like babies. And then the youngest one is Ouyang Didi.
Ouyang Didi.
So
Okay.
she is the youngest. She's 20 years old.
Wait, Ouyang Didi, is she related to Ouyang Nana? Oh,
Ouyang Didi.
okay, so it is the sister of
Oh,
another.
that's Ouyang Hana's sister?
Right, I guess.
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
So Ouyang Didi, she's the youngest. She's like the baby of the group. She's like 20. So she is like maknae, is what we call it in Korean, like baby of the group. Because, I mean, the age differences are a lot. Anyway, every time Judan calls another another woman, because it's like, I want to call her a girl, another girl on the show by their full name, she'll say their full names. She'll be like, Ouyang Didi, come here. But then when she talks to the 2 younger male celebrities, she calls them like, younger brother, come here. Younger brother, come here.
Yeah.
But then like, it's weird because Didi is the youngest. Didi is 20.
So she shows this
She
like
infantilized the
motherly
boy.
care
Yes.
to these male celebrities who are 28.
Yeah.
Okay.
28.
And then someone who's actually like
Young.
only 20, she doesn't show that motherly
No.
care. I see.
And the group is cooking together, and Sister Jing originally makes this huge pot of like chicken soup for the young kids. I'm just gonna call them young kids even though they're not kids because they keep referring to them as young kids, right? Before they even set the table though, Judan announces outright, because it's a chicken, how many drumsticks are in a chicken?
Is that a trick question? 2?
I
3?
hope so, right? 2, okay? And she immediately announces, before the table is even set, that the 2 drumsticks are reserved for the 2 younger brothers.
腿给2个弟弟吃。
And then the
That's
chicken
weird.
wing tips.
Oh, also context. In China, drumstick are the best part of the chicken. In America are the wings, right?
Yeah.
We love chicken wings.
Yeah.
In China, chicken drumstick.
Why?
People, it's like, I don't know. That's the first thing I noticed.
Oh, it's-
drumstick got really good meat.
No, it's because it's probably braised. Because in Korea, when we have like
braised.
pakdori-tang,
Yes,
the
yes.
drumstick is the high value.
Yummy, yeah.
But fried chicken, the wing is high value.
Okay, that makes sense
Yeah.
now. So in America, wings.
Everything's
China,
fried, yeah.
drumsticks. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the best part.
If it's braised, boiled, I think drumstick is better.
yeah,
Even
okay.
baked, I think drumstick is better.
Yeah.
But like chicken wing, like fried.
No, braise. Ooh,
Yeah.
oh.
you literally just ate 2. You're so funny. Okay, so she says the 2 drumsticks will be for the 2 younger brothers, and the chicken wings will be for Sister Jing and Ouyang Didi.
翅尖给静姐和欧阳弟弟吃。
Immediately, Sister Jing is like, when we were younger, whoever is the most favored would get the drumsticks.
我们小的时候也是，被看中的人都吃鸡腿。
Judan says, yeah, but the younger brothers are still growing.
哎呀，弟弟们长身体。
没有吧？我都已经停止发育了。
He said with his deep
Okay,
ass
they're
voice.
25 and 28. Okay. I mean, everyone's still growing. I'm still growing sideways. Everybody's f***ing growing all the time, right? But even the guys are taking apart that they're like, no, I stopped growing a long time ago. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm not growing. And also, if the concept is it needs to go to the ones that are growing for nutrition, Didi is 20. She's like the most likely to still be growing. Her frontal cortex, her frontal lobe has not fully developed yet. She's actually still growing.
Yeah.
Sister Jing points it out and is like, do you love boys a lot? Yeah.
Yeah? She said yeah?
No, she's like, get it together. Like you're showing gender bias. She's like, do you love boys a lot? But Judan goes, me? Yeah, a little bit. She's
Sorry.
Sorry. She doesn't even even bother hiding her bias, and netizens are so confused at how a famous celebrity host fails to pick on everyone's obvious hints. Even the male celebrities are like, I don't want to get involved in this conversation because I'm not trying to get canceled.
Yeah.
So they're like, I'm not growing. And then one of them is like, I'm so scared of my own fan base. If I have kids someday, I really hope I have a daughter. So,
Wait, he said that?
Yes.
On that spot?
yeah. And everyone is scrambling to save her, to like give her openings to of like, oh yeah, me too. I love my daughter most or something, right? But she doesn't. And so he's like, I hope that I have a daughter if I have a kid one day. And this is like a great opening for Judan to be like, you know what? I do love boys, but I don't love anyone like I love my daughter. Like, girls rule the world, power, right? But she goes, oh, well, of course, that's just how it goes, right? Opposites attract. So people are like, what does that even mean?
What does that mean?
Netizens are left even more speechless because, like, who are you, first of all, to decide who gets the chicken? Is that your chicken? Are you the chicken? The way that she waltzed in and is like, I'm gonna just dictate who gets what piece of the food is just weird. And then she casually hands the best parts to the two guys, says that they're still growing. And then when one of them is like trying to do something to make up for her abysmal male pandering, she's like, opposites attract? What does that even mean? These are your kids. Like, what do you mean opposites attract? It doesn't make sense.
She doesn't think it's wrong either.
No.
I think, right?
Yeah, and so finally, Sister Jing is like, but boys are difficult to raise and they get sick so easily. Immediately, Judan is like, my daughter is the one that's always sick. Right. My son rarely gets sick. And while all of this is happening, Oyang Didi was not in the room. So Didi was not in the room. She didn't hear any of this. She finally walks back in. Everybody is drinking the chicken soup. And Judan goes, Oyang Didi, you can also come eat. And people are now just annoyed at Judan. So they're picking on everything. What do you mean also? What do you mean also?
Yeah.
She deserves to eat. Like, who are you to say you can also come eat? So then finally at the end, one of the male celebrities scoops out a drumstick out of the pot and then plops it onto Dee Dee's bowl. Because they're like, not today. Not today. You think that I'm going to be called chicken boy? I don't think so. That's reserved for somebody else.
Smart. They call it like children, like the survival instinct kicks in. All of their survival instinct kicks in. I'm surviving this one.
Yes. It's like every holidays with families. They're just saying some crazy. And you're like, I gotta go. I gotta navigate my own life, okay? No matter how you look at this, like, there's no way that you can see Judan in a good light. Netizens are so upset. They're like, I feel like she's the type of mother-in-law to see her daughter-in-law as a rival and then try to sleep in between them, literally in their bed, sandwiched in between them.
That is crazy.
It doesn't make any sense. And then also, why does she split the food? Does she think that she is their mother? And people were even more upset because people, I don't know if this is speculation, but netizens were saying Oyang Didi. Didi literally means younger brother in Mandarin. So people were worried that her parents named her that, hoping for a younger brother. Then that would have just been like extra shitty. But like, we don't know if that's true. But everyone thinks that as a public figure, she needs to convey the correct values, at least for something like this. Like, she doesn't have to sit there and be like, here's what I think about life and you should live like this, but just be a good person. Just be a decent person, especially if you're on a reality show where you're talking about your personal life frequently. Like, it's very strange. And you are like the opposite of an independent woman. It doesn't make any sense. And she starts selling a bunch of skin products on her live streams after this show goes viral and she blows up for being a male pandering woman. And female netizens start protesting and they just start spamming the chat saying, oh, skincare, sell it to the boys that you love so much. Oh yeah, that's what we thought. Okay, you're not getting our girl money. That's too shitty for you.
Damn.
And this was just one of the outrageous moments from the show Wonderland. There's so many crazy moments. So on the first day that everybody arrives, they get divided into different groups and dorms. They're all given a certain amount of money, which would be used towards their meal, rent, activities, daily expenses. The celebrities also have to find a way to make cash along the way. So they got to set up businesses. And as it mentioned earlier, it's 5 people. And on the first day, they have tons of food already stocked. The pantry is stocked inside the house. However, Judan takes the 3 younger kids to go grocery shopping without telling Sister Jing. Sister Jing is the oldest. And they spend way more than they were budgeting for. They get back, Sister Jing is stressed out and she's screaming, 80 coins? 80 coins? Like, we haven't even talked about how we're gonna make money yet. Like, what do you mean 80 coins?
What's 80 coins?
I guess they like use coins,
Oh,
you know?
花多少钱啊？
70。
赌场，赌场。And so Sister Jing and Judan are like getting, okay, Judan is the one that took the younger kids grocery shopping. And like technically if she wants to be like, oh, the younger boys are still growing, then that means you are the older person and you need to be more responsible if that's your theory, even though everyone is an adult.
Yeah.
So that she doesn't take responsibility. She just like walks over to Sister Jing's side and she's like, yeah, we gotta figure out how to make money. It's like, okay. So then every time someone brings up an idea, the three young kids, Sister Jing and Judan just keep shutting it down, especially for Didi. I don't know why Didi was like, I don't know why Didi was suggesting this, but I don't know why they just kept shutting her ideas down. But Didi was suggesting like maybe they could start like a girl boy group, you know, or they could make some merch for Wonderland. And then, like, if that sells, they could do. And right away, Judan and Sister Jing are like, I think the merch idea is very good, but the brand, like the band thing is not super reliable. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Like, the way that they were so aggressively shutting her down, she starts crying.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
It was just really mean. Like, they won't even let her talk. And usually when people bring up ideas that you don't like, you're like, oh, that's a really good idea. Like, maybe we should think of all the ideas and then we can come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, that's a dumbass idea.
Who are you
know?
to say
Like,
it's a dumb idea?
Exactly. What if it's a great idea? I would love to watch a group, like a girl group with just Didi. So I guess it's solo, but whatever. So they're just shutting her down. And the whole time, it's like, I'm trying to find the right way of describing it. When Judan is shutting Didi down, it's not like I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe we'll keep thinking. It's like almost like the attitude of, why would you even suggest that idea? It's like very suffocating. Like, okay, like I'll just like shut up.
Yeah.
Like it's very like a lot. Like, why would you even think of that idea? I don't know. It's just okay, but like you think that would work? It's like I don't know. I'm just thinking. You told me to think, and I'm thinking, and obviously it's not working. But like, what do you want me to do about it? Also, they're sucking the fun out of it. It's the same thing Mai did. It's really not that serious. Like, you're not going to starve to death. The producers are not going to be responsible for you starving to death. You're going to be fine, okay? You don't have to be so aggressive and bully people. And the second that Didi starts crying, Judan flips. And she goes, Didi, what's wrong? It's okay. Mommy's here to stand up for you.
妈妈在，妈妈给你撑腰。没事没事。
So she takes all of them shopping. She overspends. Sister Jing gets riled up. Judan gets riled up with Sister Jing. And then the minute Didi starts crying, she's like, I will protect you. As if Sister Jing is the bad guy the whole time. She's like, don't worry, Mommy's got you. I'll protect you.
Wow.
And all the comments are like, aren't you the one that made her cry? What are you talking about? And then there was another point where Sister Jing is talking about ideas of what to do for the show to make money. She's like, oh, well, you know, there were a lot of celebrities on this season that were in the past few seasons previously, and they already have businesses that were established in the past few seasons that they keep running every season. So like maybe we could try to team up with them in some way. Basically saying, let me think of a way that we can add value to their business so that they would want to partner with us. Like that is the nuance. She doesn't say it out loud, but that's what's implied, obviously. But Judan is like, oh, Sister Jing here wants to make money without doing any work. And everyone's like, why would you say that? That's just like weird. Why are you such a fucking pick-me?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what is wrong with you? Everyone's so confused. And every time you try to confront her about it, she's like, what do you mean? I didn't think that was a weird thing to say. And the crazy thing is, Sister Jing actually recognizes where she messes up. So she goes to sit down with Judan and she says, you know, I think earlier I just get very anxious. Like I'm a very nervous personality. And so when you guys came back and overspent buying snacks, I just got super anxious. And when I get very anxious, I just become very aggressive. And I start expressing my ideas in a way that maybe is not the most productive. And I think especially with the younger ones, we have such a big age gap. And I just forgot about the age gap. I should have considered what kind of pressure my way of talking puts on these kids because they're just kids after all. So yeah, I think that I crossed the line, and in this position, that was totally my fault. You know, I brought people unnecessary pressure and it was really immature. And so, you know, I'm like, I just feel like I failed really just severely in that part. And Judan is like,
yes, you did.
are you saying I need to reflect on myself too?
Oh, Lord.
Because I was just helping people sort things out. And Sister Jing is like, no, I'm talking to you because I wanted to share how I felt. It was about me. I interrupted Didi when she was talking, and I thought it was not going to work. And well, Didi was being pulled in different directions. Exactly, she was being pulled in different directions, and she cried. And, I think we have to wait for people to finish speaking before expressing opposing opinions. But I wasn't able to do that in that conversation. And I think that we kind of overstepped and crossed the line. I think these kids have their own idea. Yeah, we should let the kids spread their wings, huh?
This is crazy. It's like talking to a wood, huh?
Yeah, literally drywall. And so they go and they, Sister Jing apologizes to the younger ones, Didi. And she says, I think if you want to even collaborate with other people from the other houses, I think you kids should feel free. Because isn't that the whole point of coming here, is to let ourselves go and socialize and be around people and be creative and be independent thinkers? And everyone was like, oh, like, this is a really good moment. Because Sister Jing, like, it seems like she was genuinely reflecting. And she came to them very humbly, like, okay, yeah, I fucked up. Like, I was much older here and I should have recognized where I messed up. And everyone's like, oh, this is great. And Judan adds in, Sister Jing is so different from afternoon to evening.
庆姐下午不到晚上，怎么判若两人？
As if like she had nothing to do with what was happening, okay? Like as if okay. She just gets so suffocating that the two boys, guys, men, adults, they don't even want to stick around. Once the meeting wraps up, they start going to hang out with their friends in the other houses. And like all the other houses, it's so sad. You can see how much fun they're having. So another business, like another house, they say, we started a pawn shop. And the two guys are like, what do you mean a pawn shop? They're like, that's our business. Okay, so here's the pawn shop. I pay you 10 coins. Okay?
Yeah.
And you give me your smile. They're like, my smile? And you can't smile for the next 2 days. Every time you smile, you owe me 10 coins.
Oh.
And like, the boys are like, the guys are like, this is fun. So they just buy into it because they're like, I mean, this is like, the energy was so there and everyone is just being creative and all the other celebrities in the other houses are like having a good time.
That's so
or sometimes
whimsical.
you can pawn your left arm. So you just can't use your left arm for anything. And if you were caught using your left arm to even open the door handle or like catch your phone that's falling, you got to pay 10 cents to the pawn shop.
That's so good.
It's so good, right? You have to pay a fine. It's such a fun, creative business idea that makes the show more interesting. Like everything about it is so cute. And then after they're having fun, they're like, like, what do you mean I can't smile? They exchange their little coins and then they're walking away. And as they're walking back home, the guys are like, do you want to go back home or do you want to stop by somewhere else? So then they stop by another house because they just like don't want to go back home. And when they get into that other house, Judan is there. You can just tell they look so disappointed to see her. Yeah, and all the captions are like, you can never escape the aunties, okay? And so, they're happily trying to announce like, we just earned 30 coins because we pawned off our smiles and our arms. They're like saying all these things. And Sister Jing, because she just went through moments of reflection, she's very encouraged. She's like, okay, how did you make 30 coins? That's crazy. Like, that's an interesting idea. Judan, very annoying. Oh my gosh, she stands up, lecturing. This is very dumb. You guys got scammed. That's called spending money. You really think that you can go a full day without... I mean, yeah, I think they could go a full day without smiling if you're around, okay? But she's like, you really think that you can go a full day without smiling? Like, you're supporting their business. Because in the end, you're not going to hold back your smile. If you smile once, you have to go pay them. Oh, you're such a silly little boy.
Dude. Yo.
And they're all just like... oh my gosh, I'm gonna pawn off my soul at this point. Get me out of here. All the comments are like, you are such a buzzkill. It's like, you want to take the game seriously enough, but not too seriously. It's just not that serious. You're trying to have a good time. You're entertaining people at home.
I see what you mean,
Is
though.
she though?
Next to them just sucks everything out of it.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even talk.
Yeah.
You're just gonna lecture me on the dumbest in the world. Everyone is like, it's not even the fact that she lacks EQ. She genuinely thinks that her way of thinking is correct. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then there's another part in the show where it's Mother's Day. And so one of the two guys is like, it's Mother's Day today. Like, you should reward yourself, Judan, because she's a mother. And she's like, oh, well, then all of you guys should say something nice to me. So clearly from this interaction, you can tell that she's not annoyed or bothered by her role of being a mother. But then there's this car scene where she's in the car with Didi. And Didi, like, I think she did something cute. And Didi has, like, a little bit more aegyo. And so she's like, thank you, mommy, right? But she's saying it as, like, because you're, like, the mommy of the group, right? And Judan's reaction is... The reminder that my manager gave me before I came to Wonderland is that I shouldn't be such a mom. And you keep calling me mom. I'm already on the verge of breaking down.
The fuck?
But Judan is literally the one that started it, remember?
She's offended, right?
Yeah, and when Didi was crying, remember? She was like, mommy will stand up for you. Mommy has your back. Like, that was all you. And then for Mother's Day, you're like, okay, say something nice to me, everyone.
Why do you think she's triggered in this moment?
Everyone in the comments was like, she hates Didi because she's jealous of Didi for Didi being a young woman. Like, she sees women as competition, and she sees men as something to take care of.
Dang.
People are like, what did she even do to you?
So-
like, why does she keep attacking her?
So Didi's just getting bullied by Judan the whole show.
Yes! By someone twice her f***ing age!
Yeah.
And people are like, see, this is the type of mother-in-law, you could find your soulmate. And this is his mom, you run.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't marry the love of your life, okay? Others mock her. They're like, Judan, mommy is here. Judan,
I have a breakdown when someone calls me mommy. Don't even think about calling me mommy.
it's like very crazy. Netizens were like, well, I bet if one of the guys called her mommy, she would have loved it. People are like, she loves men. Other people are like, to be honest, I think she thinks she's on a dating show. So... And then there's this part of the show where everyone talks about the most vulnerable moments of like what they're struggling with in life. Oh, Judan brings up the fucking thing again.
Sorry again?
Yeah, brings up the thing again. Okay, I will say somewhat of a heartfelt moment more than previously, where it seemed less of like, woe is me. It seemed like hopefully she's really reflecting that it was totally her fault, right? But I don't know. And then this is where it gets bad. It's Didi's fault, and she's clearly going through a lot. First of all, she's getting bullied by this mummy, right? She's getting bullied on this show. She's stuck in the middle of nowhere with a bully. And she's like, okay, yeah, I mean, I think right now, I feel like I'm only 20 and my life is just beginning, but I feel kind of lost. Like, these are very normal 20-year-old thoughts. The minute that she says, I'm only 20 years old right now, Judan rolls her eyes.
我觉得我今年20岁，所以我的人生才刚刚开始。
You're shitting me. Wow. She can't hide that.
She can't even hide it.
She's like Minasu. The eye rolls.
She can't hide anything. She's a lot of netizens were like, oh, she's the type of teacher that favors boys.
Oh, yeah.
The type of teacher that gives nicknames for the boys and then grades all the girls' essays like, you suck at life, go die. I don't know. But then to the boys, she's like, I know that you literally use ChatGPT for everything, but I feel like you must have prompted it really well for it to like give such a spectacular essay. Like, that's her vibe. I want to punch her in the face. She's giving the mother who like runs to her son right when the gender reveal happens and is like dry humping him in the air. She like lifts her legs around him, cradles him, and it's like, what is happening? I don't know what's worse, gender reveals where the husband runs directly to his mom or runs directly to the boys when it's a boy. I don't know what's worse. Immediately, divorce. There's another section where they're eating barbecue and one of the guys is like, oh, I'm on a diet, I can't eat. So there's skewers. She's looking at him, she takes a bite out of the skewer and then keeps pushing it in his face even though he said that he doesn't want to eat it. And it's like, just like weird. Why would you bite it first? It's like weird.
Yeah.
It's pick me energy. And then there was also another thing where everybody has secret tests of one another. So you have to come up with these little test sheets and it'll rank things. So it's like 0 through 5, 5 being really good. So you rank people with like emotional management, empathy, mediation ability, energy, liveliness, sense of social responsibility, charisma, low stimuli, blunt sensitivity. So basically it's like a new term that people refer to in China, which is you're not overly sensitive over small remarks. It's like being very emotionally stable. It's like someone who's very grounded. You don't sweat the small stuff. Like you have very good sensitivity of like, oh, if someone snaps at you when you can clearly tell they've been anxious all day and it's like a small snap, you're not going to go and start a whole fight about it. It's just like, oh, damn, they're probably having a day. It's like that. And so everyone is giving 14 forms. So they have to fill out everybody else's forms. It's like grading everyone else anonymously about how you feel about their social skills after living with them for so long and interacting with them. So then after,
Drama.
yeah, everyone gathers around a table and they can pick 3 people whose ratings they want to see. But they don't see them in order. So you can pick the 3 people you want to see their ratings of you. So you'd be like, oh, I want to see my husband's rating of me, Tiffany's rating of me, and my sister's rating of me. But when I get them, I won't know who's who, right? So it's supposed to be somewhat anonymous, but you can still pick like 3 people. Yeah. And so you just see like these ratings. And I will say, I don't know if everybody is just terrified of Judan, probably. And maybe it's like elder respect, because a lot of people are like younger. So they just like rated her high on fucking everything, except blunt sensitivity.
She's like very reactive and sensitive. Yeah.
To like small comments.
Yeah.
Like very small comments. She'll just be like, what did you mean by that? And it's like, I didn't mean anything. I was just bullshitting out of my ass. Okay.
What do you mean, mommy?
Yeah. Like,
what do you mean, sorry?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh my God, it's so stressful. And so she scored like 46 out of 50 on one. And the only points were like blunt sensitivity. And then other people were even making comments on their thing of like, you're so amazing at like trying to care for other people. And one of them, the blunt sensitivity was on the lower side. And she turns to Sister Jing and she's like, did you write this? And Sister Jing is so uncomfortable and she's like, another famous celebrity who is a comedian who's really good at mediating situations jumps in and is like, we shouldn't guess. Let's not guess. We should just accept the results and reflect. But Judan completely ignores him, turns around to Sister Jing, and it's like, Sister Jing, why did you only give me 1 point for blunt sensitivity?
Did we not just fucking prove the point right here?
Sister Jing is at a loss for words.
Sister Jing pulls out a mirror.
Exactly.
And so she's like, but Judan won't even let it go. I don't know how people do this. I don't know how people sit in silence. Judan is smiling at her, waiting for her explanation. And she's just watching Sister Jing be uncomfortable.
Yikes.
Then all the celebrities are like, it just means you're like sensitive as a person. Like you catch onto feelings really fast.
Is that
so
what
everyone is like trying to make blunt sensitivity a really good thing now.
Yeah.
Like it's some kind of positive trait. But everybody knows what Sister Jing was saying. Like you're way too fucking sensitive. And as for her question of why Sister Jing gave her 1 point, netizens said, because you are. The fact that you're asking why she did that shows why you should only get 1 point.
I think that the culture of politeness towards your elder in China is preventing people from being honest. Because me personally, I wouldn't give a fuck. I never did. I do have an opposition disorder. And I love to remind myself that I have one whenever I feel like a situation would explain why I reacted a certain way. Because I really thought that shit was only back when I was a child. But I recently realized, no, girl. It's very much still there. And so in this situation, I would have been very honest. I would have been, girl, you're 40 and you act like a 12 years old. I'm going to need you to relax because this is literally, you're just proving the point of whatever the fuck is on that paper. You cannot take a single ounce of criticism, even if it's like constructive criticism. If you cannot take even constructive criticism said in a very polite, very demure, very nice manner, very like no hostility or anything. Like it was like nobody likes to be criticized, but read the room and try to be the bigger person, which you technically are. Be the bigger person that you're supposed to be. Be a role model, be a mother, and take it and reflect on it. But no, you're out there whining like a little, grow up. Do better. I am disappointed in you. I expected better from someone like you. You should not be acting this way at your big age. It's very embarrassing. And that's that. And then I would be cancelled.
Yeah.
I'm so confused. But she does not get it. Judan is just like, the only way she lets go of this topic is when everyone explains to her they lie to her face straight up that no, this just means that you're like an emotionally sensitive person, which is good because that means you pick up on things. Like you got nunchi. They're trying to convince her of that. And then she's like, oh, okay. So it's like the other way around. Then I'm fine. I'm satisfied. And then another celebrity is so sick of your shit. They go, yeah, or else you're going to get mad.
Did you hear it?
Yeah. But they move on, thankfully. And so she gets her third feedback. It's 47 points. I mean, she's like getting all the highest points. The only thing that people are scoring her low on is sensitivity, which I think the other points are way too generous anyway, but whatever. She scored 2 out of 5 this time instead of 1 out of 5. The others even started to ask,
God, I lost the lash.
what did you do for them to score you in this category, like this range? Like to say that you're sensitive.
This is somewhere.
And Judan starts getting mad. And she starts looking around and she's like, am I really sensitive?
Yes.
And the comedian looks at her and is like, sister, you fixating on your low score right now is being very sensitive.
Yeah.
Right.
Is my score really that low?
Girl.
Another celebrity is like, are you going to go back and think, am I really that sensitive and keep you up the entire night? Because then, yes, you really are that sensitive. Like, what do you mean? And so finally, out of 150 points, she scores 143, which is super high. Everybody is like congratulating her. They're clapping. But for netizens watching, they're so done with her. They're like, see, this is why delusional people stay delusional, because everyone is so scared of telling them, hey, you're so crazy.
Yes.
So they go about their entire lives for decades thinking that they're not crazy when it's like, no, we're just so scared of you. We're just terrified. So Judan has full marks on everything else, and she was still making a whole fit about it. And then it shows when she's giving points. So like the audience can see how she's giving points. Yeah. She gave Sister Jing only 38 points out of 50.
Oh, dang.
Super harsh. And she also added comments that were just so fucking rude. Okay. Like she's so sensitive, and she's like writing things like emotional management. First she checked 4, then she X'd it out and then changed it to a 3. For mediation skills, she gave her a 2 and then wrote, usually puts her own emotions first. For social responsibility, she rated her a 3 and then wrote a comment, average.
Wow, this person is actually so miserable to be around.
Like if she got any of these results, she would have forced the entire show to sit down, have a therapy session on the spot, stop filming, stop production, stop everything to figure out who wrote it and why. And she would interrogate them until they're like, you know what, let me get my paper back and just change the answers all to 5 because I was totally dumb and wrong. And I should go punch myself. And the crazy thing is, like, netizens are like, listen, we can appreciate celebrities who are mean. We can. If you're blunt, you're to the point, and you want to be super honest, and you're like, hey, Sister Jing, I think you're only a 38 out of 50. That's fine. What's not fine is being hypersensitive about your score and then having zero sensitivity when you judge other people's. That's narcissism. That's being crazy. You're heartless. And then she's like totally blunt with it too. When Sister Jing is reading her results, she even turns to Sister Jing and is like, don't you think your mediation skills are like a little off, right?
调停力是不是稍微有点？是不是？
Sister Jing looked like she's about to cry, but she holds it in. She keeps it quiet and she just moves on. See, that's what I don't get. I feel like it's a normal human thing to hate making everyone feel uncomfortable. Like, it's not even you're just being so mean to Sister Jing, but now you're like creating this environment where everyone doesn't know what to do. I feel like people typically, I feel like it's a natural instinct to hate that. She doesn't even feel it. Yeah. Oh, she a brick wall. It's so creepy. But it doesn't end there. After everyone receives their scores, the top 3 are given the role of team captain or parent, which means that they can choose their own teammates and roommates. Basically, they become the leaders.
I hope she was the last one.
Everyone at the table, Judan placed second because everyone was just bullshitting and trying to be nice. That means she gets to be one of the 3 captains, and she has the power to pick her own group. But the way they choose the team is very interesting. So everybody has this like tube in front of them. They're sitting at a table, and everybody has this tube, and you slip your arms in both. You slip your hands in, okay? And there's 2 buttons on the inside. One button is yes, one button is no.
Oh, that's
and no one
cool.
can see, right? And you stick both in, so like you can't see which muscle is flexing which, right?
Yeah.
And once the team captain chooses 5 people, They all slip their hands in. And then at the end, if they all unanimously vote yes, they become a family unit. But if one person votes no, then they have to re-choose another group of 5 or convince the 5 to all vote yes. But you don't know who voted no.
I'm confused now.
Okay,
I'm
so
confused
5
too,
people
but I
stick
think
their
I get
arms
it.
in.
Who's the 5 people?
Okay, so let's say captain 1. Judan is captain 2. There's 3
Yep.
captains.
Yep.
They say, I want A, B, C, D, E on my team. Stick your arms in, A, B, C, D, E, or A, B, C, D, because I guess it's 4 people they're choosing. And then click yes or no. And then it'll reveal either 3 people said yes, 4 people said yes.
Okay.
If it's 4 people said yes, it's unanimous. All 5 of them want to be on a team. The captain chose all of them,
Yeah.
and all 4 said, yes, we want to go with you.
What if one of them...
Snap.
They have to revote. So if one of them says no, then the captain can choose all 4 new people, or the captain can try to convince them to say yes. And then they do a
Oh,
revote.
they
Keep revoting
Oh my
until it's all
gosh.
yes.
Oh, that seems kind of difficult.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. I think it's cool. So the 3 team leaders, they take turns selecting 4 people that they want in their group, and those 4 people then vote again anonymously about whether they want to join or not.
That's about to get messy.
So Judan turns to
Exactly.
Sister Jing and is like, Sister Jing, do you still want to be with me? Sister Jing, after she just got bullied, is like, of course. Judan then picks Sister Jing, the 2 original boys that are still growing.
And she replaces Didi?
She replaces Didi,
Wow.
another boy. So she
Wow.
chose everyone from her original group except
Yeah.
for Didi.
Miss
The youngest.
Ting! Yeah.
Wow.
You know, because I don't like to tear up on, like, I don't like to, you know, I feel like women already get it so hard in life for things. Women will be treated worse than a man. Like a woman who's a bitch slash a cunt is gonna be treated worse than a man who's a fucking rapist. So that's why I'm trying to tame my reaction, obviously, because she's just being fucking annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's just like, it's also like the lack of being able to read the room, ma'am. I just feel like this is I don't think, well, like most reality TV, right? The people in it usually don't realize that people outside can see them and can react to their shenanigans. I feel like it's kind of crazy how people in reality TV forget about the outside world, but also I feel like on her part, it isn't the outside. It's not even just about the outside world. It's the fact that she really doesn't have any context clue, and because everybody is so hell-bent on like not wanting to create drama, which I can understand up to a certain point. You know what I mean? Up to a certain point. Me personally, she reached my point a long time ago. She reached my point like on day 1. I would have already told her her 4 truths, as we say in French. But that's me. I was raised by Canadians. Outside of sorry and maple syrup and hockey, no, bitch, I'm still a bitch. And I'm blunt, if need be. Because I also am not, like, I really don't like unnecessary drama. But something that I hate more than unnecessary drama is a bully that needs to be checked. Because they usually don't get checked. And as a certified bully checker, I would have checked her a long time ago. I just feel like an attitude like that literally poison, like, because there's nothing worse than being in an environment for a certain amount of time and the environment is fucking poisonous. Like, that would break that would piss me off. I'm not spending like a whole week in a fucking mountain, freezing outside with a bitch that I cannot stand. So we need to find something, and for things to get better at first, they need to be acknowledged. She needs to hear the fucking truth. Although I don't even know if she'd be able to take it, I feel like she was never fucking told things properly in her life. And so, we have this woman who's now delusional, pushing 40s, Not even well, y'all don't know how she is, but like, way older than me. And she's delusional. And she cannot take criticism. And she's very sensitive, which means that everybody feels like they have to walk on eggs around her. That is not a freaking good environment to be in. Tell the bitch the truth. Like, damn. Stop being so fucking scared and cowardly and tell her the truth.
So when it came to the vote, 2 of them said yes and 2 of them said no. So the group does not come together. And Judan immediately starts questioning, who said no? Who said no?
Girl, it's
I don't know if
anonymous for
she
a
doesn't
reason.
understand what the word anonymous means.
Yeah.
But she doesn't respect the rules of the game. She's like confronting everyone, trying to dig up everything. Like, what's the point of the cylinder box? The whole point is then you try to sell yourself. You're like, okay, so here's my proposal, right? So if you guys say yes, this next time you vote, I'll give everyone free ice cream. Like, you're supposed to, I'll do the laundry for the next week. But instead, she's like, who the said no? Who said no? The game moves on to the next round. And the next captain is Lee Jia-chi, who is a girl. She is a team captain. And she had already arranged like the 4 people that she was going to choose for her group. But she actually has really high EQ, and I think she's really nice. The first captain did not pick Didi. Because, I mean, I don't think they really knew each other. And Didi is very new to the show. And so everyone just kind of assumes you go with, like, the original group that you went with, just because why not? And then Judan does not pick Didi.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so Lee Jia-chi picks Didi first.
Yeah.
So that's her first pick, because she's like, okay, I'm not dumb. I'm not going to have... And, like, also, it's very shitty to just watch a young girl, like a 20-year-old, not get picked by anyone. Like, what is this, dodgeball in high school? Like, no one's doing that. So she picks Didi first and then picks a few other people. And it's crazy because she actually picked Didi over her 2 best friends. But she knows that her 2 best friends are also friendly with captain number 1. So it's, like, not a big deal.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm not going to let Didi be the only person that never gets chosen throughout the entire round of first rounds of picks.
Yeah.
Even though no teams were formed. So she picks Didi, and it was still a vote of 3-1. The group did not form, but instead of confronting anyone or causing a big deal about it, she just kind of laughed it off and moved on. Now, when it's Judan's turn again, she picks Sister Jing, the 2 guys from the original, and then a different guy. And she's still, again, not picking Didi. And she's like, okay, like this time, don't say no. And again, 2-2. She immediately turns to Sister Jing and is like, Sister Jing, did you press no?
Bro, what's wrong with this woman? Like...
And then Sister Jing is like, no, it wasn't me. So Judan then points to the 2 guys, the original 2 guys, and is like, then I suspect it's one of you. And then she just keeps rambling. Like, I think it's the 2 of you now. Like, I really have no idea. How can these 4 people... I think the 2 of you are ganging up on me. Why is it always 2 votes that say no? 2 votes every single time. Like, I got 2 votes in both rounds that said no.
Bro.
And the others are saying, well, maybe it's not the same 2 votes. Like, people can change their votes. And then Judan is, like, ripping her sunglasses off her head. And she's like, exactly, what is going on right now? She just starts, like, fuming in the middle of the game. And she just could not take no for an answer. I mean, perhaps she thought that she had one of the highest scores, so everyone wanted to room with her. But it turns out everyone just lied to her because they're scared of her, obviously, because of reasons you can see. And she just starts screaming, and everybody's on edge. Some people even started biting their fingernails. Like, they just seemed really stressed out. Others are, like, trying to disappear into their chair. Others are, like, nervously.
This is my 2.0.
Yeah, like, everyone is just panicked. Everyone knows that the 2 guys voted no, but, like, it was just really stressful.
I think that the strength of... Because I feel like at that point, you no longer need to keep appearances. You no longer need to pretend. She already snapped. Stop being polite. There's no need for that anymore. She's already pissed off, so... My mentality on the subject is simple. Fuck it. That would be my mentality. I just want to be like, alright, fuck it, bitch. Let me tell you what's up. Let me tell you what's happening. I'm not gonna snitch. That's not what I'm saying. But you forgot the fucking rule of the game. You're making everybody uncomfortable. But because everybody is so hellbent on being fucking nice and polite, none of them are gonna fucking tell you the truth. But you're annoying. you weird. You're still acting like a 12 years old. And at your big age, you should know and do better. And you're not. You're not being a role model. You're not being kind. You're poisoning the entire mood. So please stop. I feel like at this point, she should be replaced as a leader by someone who can actually handle fucking, like, rejection. It's a game. It's not that deep. It was never supposed to be that deep. If you need a villain, I'm gonna be one. To counter the other villain. And then I would be cancelled.
And like people are saying, it's so obvious the two guys would vote no. Like they had a miserable time. Why would they want to go back? Like it's not even rude. This is how the show works. And then she just sits there in silence, glaring at everyone. And she's like darting her eyes back and forth to everyone that might have voted no. And it's just like very frightening to watch. Later, one of the guys said in a behind-the-scenes interview that he was one of the people that pressed no both times, and he was too scared to even admit it, so he felt really shameful about that. Which is crazy because it's like, no, you don't have to admit it. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
That's the whole point. Like, you didn't do anything wrong by not admitting it. You don't have to admit it. He just kept saying, like, I was really nervous. I feel terrible. I felt really guilty, and I was so embarrassed to admit it was me. So I did say no. I kept saying no, but it was me. And so eventually the comedian stepped in and was like, sister, if they've provided this machine, it means that everyone has the right to say no.
Exactly.
Okay? Like people can, it's a good thing that people can choose to say no. And like people are like, this is even crazier because her whole career so far, her professional career, most of it was not from reality shows. It was all on hosting. And host, especially in places like East Asia, your EQ is through the roof.
Yep.
The way that you mediate awkward conversations, awkward questions, you are able to give celebrities openings to walk back something they might have said or to re-explain something in a way that might not offend people. Like, it's all about having EQ, and she can't do anything. Like, comedians are stepping in to be like, what's wrong with you? Like, giggle, let's just giggle gaggle. It's not that serious.
I'm not sure about
But she just says, I mean, no one wanted to live with me. Obviously, I was rejected. I think the two younger brothers rejected me. So I think naturally anyone would be disappointed.
Girl, shut the fuck up.
And it's like she's so upset about the idea of being rejected by these two guys. And everyone's like, you do realize you're not on Singles Inferno. Like, you do realize you're not on a dating show. We don't know what's happening. So the next round, one group forms, and then the remaining people form another group. So automatically everybody else is placed with Judan.
Oh.
Yeah. Thankfully, Didi is not part of that group, but it's Sister Jing and the two original male celebrities.
Oh, they gave in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and so they're trying to get settled into their new headquarters, but Judan is still hung up on who rejected her. And she's like really stressed. She's walking down the stairs with one of the guys, and she keeps muttering under her breath like, no, it's impossible for Sister Jing to reject, though, and say no. And everyone's like, oh my God. And he just looks so stressed out because he thinks like Sister Jing is going to get thrown under the bus because he said no. So he walks
Confess?
He goes into the bathroom and he like has a meltdown in the bathroom. It seems he locks himself in there for a really long time to calm down. Because I'm sure also it's really scary. It's also like fear of getting canceled too. I'm sure he probably thought like, okay, everyone's going to kill me for not manning up to my decision. Like,
because like these video, who knows, they might just secretly reveal that what they each person pressed and then show him lying, for example.
So he's like, okay, I gotta apologize. And netizens were so upset by this because they're like, why do you have to apologize? You don't have to apologize for saying no.
He went to apologize?
Yeah, and he was like, okay, like, I'm just gonna apologize. So he goes to Sister Jing first, and he's like, hey, I just want to tell you that I voted no in both rounds, and I'm sorry that, like, you got blamed for it because of me, and I couldn't stand up. I was just really nervous, and, like, I don't know, I was just kind of freaking out. And Sister Jing was like making him feel much better. And she was like, no, I totally get it. I think it's also like last time we were living together, we had such a big age difference. Like, it was awkward. Like, sometimes I would come downstairs and you three young kids are chatting and I don't know what you guys are talking about because I don't know what's going on these days. And then, you know, like, I get it. And then you guys feel like you have to be very careful. And, you know, we're old. We like to wake up early, you guys like to sleep in. So I totally get why you wouldn't have wanted this environment. Like I know it has nothing to do with me or Judan. Like I know it's just like the age difference, the setup, like we get it.
Oh.
So people start growing
High
really
EQ.
Yes, where it's like, and
Yeah,
then
it
she's
has
like,
nothing
but
to
you
do
know
with
what?
the
Maybe this time I'll
perpetrator,
like learn
the
to be younger.
culprit.
Like we can have fun. Like don't feel afraid. And then he was also like, yeah, because you guys sleep really early. Showering was really stressful because the bathrooms are all in the same hallway, and so we always felt like we had to shower at certain times. And she's like, I can't even hear a thing. Like I'm such a deep sleeper. Don't even worry.
Yeah.
So like very high EQ, and she's like, it's okay. Like don't worry. And then he finally goes to do that, and he's like, yeah, so I pressed no both times, and he's just explaining like I felt really nervous saying, and he also gives the same explanation of like last time we were living together we felt like the energies weren't mixing because like all the reasons I gave, and she just is like, okay, can you tell me why you pressed no?
After he said why?
Yeah, and then finally she goes, thank you for confessing. Like it's okay, but I'm glad you confessed. And everyone's like, confessing? Like he doesn't need to confess.
Yeah.
Like confessing implicates that you did something wrong.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're guilty of something.
He
yeah.
didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with Mai. Like, how dare you make me side with all the guys in here?
Exactly.
And then
This bitch has me fucking defending a man in public. Jail.
she's like, no, don't worry about it. And then she gives him a tight hug and then like touches his abdomen. And everyone takes a screenshot and is like, hello? Are we on a dating show? Yeah. So
She's starving
that
for that
is
young
part
dick.
1 of Judan. I gotta give y'all a part 2. Honestly, I could ramble for like another 3 hours. But in the next part, we're gonna go back into the reality show with her husband. Because if you think this is crazy,
Oh my God.
it's actually crazier because the whole world cyber bullies her husband for 3 years. For 3 years. And then they go on a reality show and turns out he's not the villain.
That's
She
fucking
convinced
wild.
everyone he was the villain for 3 years. And she never clarified. He
That's
never
absolutely
clarified.
crazy.
It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my
Like,
life.
I just can't keep thinking about how bad I already feel for her family because they have nowhere to run to, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So stay tuned for part 2. Let me know in the comments your thoughts because I'm sorry. I know I kept rolling my eyes. I felt like it was rude, but I was just getting so frustrated. And like the way that she just treats her daughter sent me off, and then there was no coming back from that. So let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Ciao. Okay. That's just annoying. It's really just another case of a woman who's extremely annoying and who doesn't know how to read the room and is terrorizing everybody around her. Obviously, comparing her to the true crime that we started this reaction video with, the husband, what she did is child play. Duh. And the husband better go to jail. He better have some sort of fucking consequences for his action. I'm having a very, very, very. I was already slightly irritated today. I might need to deactivate my Twitter account just because I know Twitter is not real life, but people are getting way too comfortable being extremely rude and racist, and that's been bothering me a lot lately. And also because we just got news that in Montreal, where I live, cops were cutting black people's hair and keeping them as trophies. So yeah, today there's too many reasons for me to be annoyed. At least I'm not as annoyed as with the murder. But I was supposed to watch an episode to kind of like lift up my spirit after the murder. This did not lift up my spirits. It did the complete opposite of lifting up my spirit. It just annoyed me. Ugh. God dang it. Anywho, this get ready with me reaction is over, and I'm gonna go eat and relax and Probably, maybe, hopefully, come back later for some video game streaming, which I haven't done in way too long. To be continued because I don't want to make promises that I can't keep. So, peace. See you next time. Da-na-na-na. Da-da-da-dum. Bum 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 dum 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 da-dum ba-dum 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 ba-bum bum ba-dum bum bum.